A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Kroger Tender Ray Beef. No other beef so fresh can be so tender. Presents Hearts in Harmony, transcribed. K is for Kroger. C is for cut. B is for beef. KCB means Kroger cut beef, and Kroger cut beef means more meat for your money. Yes, Kroger cut beef gives you more meat, less waste, and the reason is this. Before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. Mind you, that's before the meat is weighed and priced, which means more meat for your money. And it's top U.S. government grades of beef. It's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. Yes, in Kroger cut beef, you get a better value in top-grade beef. For example, take a specific cut of beef, say a Kroger cut chuck roast. Before the roast is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess waste and stringy meat. That means you get a better value because you get more solid meat, only a minimum of bone. Yes, you receive more meat, less waste, whether you buy a steak or roast. So visit your neighborhood Kroger store soon. Make it a rule to get Kroger cut beef. It gives you more meat for your money. And now, Hearts in Harmony. A brain specialist visiting in France has been called to the Heatherton Hospital to operate on Barry Carlton, slowly dying from injuries he received in an automobile accident as he and Penny Gibbs were on their way to be married. Penny, just barely off the critical list herself, says to her friend, Dr. Ryan,
They're operating on Barry right now, aren't they, Dr. Ryan?
Yes, Penny. The operation's well underway.
How long will it take?
That's hard to say. Mrs. Carlton told you why he has to be operated on, didn't she?
Yes, sir. An injury to the brain.
Well, a pressure on his brain. That's usually not quite as serious.
Is it in this case, though?
With Dr. Reynolds operating, it really doesn't matter. If the job can be done, he'll do it.
What do you mean, if the job can be done?
Well, I meant, really, no one could do a better job.
Dr. Ryan, tell me the truth. Please tell me the truth. Is there a chance that he won't come out of the operation?
Nothing is 100% sure, Penny. You ought to know that. But the best man in his field doesn't reach that peak with unsuccessful operations. I don't have too much fear that the operation will fail.
When will we know?
Maybe as soon as the operation's over. Maybe not until, a few hours after.
But anyway, you let me know right away, won't you?
Of course I will. The minute I know myself.
And you'll tell me the results no matter what they are.
I will.
You promise?
I promise. Those cuts on your forehead are healing beautifully, Penny.
Oh, they look awful. I was scared to death when they removed the bandages.
Well, maybe they look bad now. But there won't be a trace of them in a few weeks. Maybe in less time than that.
I hope not. I don't want to look too awful when I see Barry.
He won't care how you look. He'd be so glad to see you.
And I'll be so glad to see him.
I'll bet you will.
I'll be able to see him, too. At long last, my eyes are uncovered.
How is the light affecting him, Penny? Is it too bright in here?
No, it was this morning, but the nurse lifted the shades a little higher each hour, and now I'm used to the light now.
Mm-hmm. You don't want too much light, Penny. Not too fast, anyway. You see, injury around the eyes sometimes affects the muscles of the eyes, and you don't want to put too much strain on them until they're ready for it.
You mean that I still can't read? I asked the nurse to bring me a book, you know.
Well, I wouldn't try to read for a day or two.
Well, all right, then I won't. Tell the nurse not to bother about the book, will you?
Penny, I already have.
I can't get away with anything with the doctor, can I?
Not very much.
Well, I'll get even with you before I'm out of here. Dr. Ryan. Dr. Ryan, what about the rest of the bandages on my face? When will they come off?
Next week sometime.
But why do I have to wait so long?
Well, it's just best, that's all. You see, we don't want to hurry anything.
And when they do come off, what's under them?
Well, we'll really have to wait and see.
Dr. Weston saw my face before I was bandaged. Did he tell you what was there?
No, he didn't. And I didn't ask. But I wouldn't worry, Penny. I told you the other day, if there's a scar on your face, there's a competent man right here in this hospital who'll take care of it.
Dr. Ryan, I wasn't thinking about it for myself. I was thinking about it in regard to Barry.
I wouldn't worry about that. He loved you, Penny, not your face. Although, well, I have no doubt that it was that beautiful face of yours that first drew him to you. I'm rather impressed by it myself.
Not the way it looks now.
It's the same lovely face. Perhaps slightly hidden by bandages and a little bit scratched and bruised. But otherwise the face of the same lovely girl. Oh, by the way, you're being allowed 2 very charming visitors in a little while.
I am. Who?
Well, they've both asked for you every day. One is very small, but completely understanding.
It's Julie. Julie's coming to see me. How nice. Who's bringing her, Freddie?
No, Freddie wanted to, but Mr. Williams isn't too well, you know. Freddie's been busy at the farm. She's coming with Johnny Keith.
I should have known it'd be Johnny. He's always around when I'm in trouble.
He's called my office in Rossville twice a day since the accident, asking if he could come to Heatherton to see you. I finally told Dr. Weston I thought a visit from him would be good for him.
Oh, you bet it will be.
Well, they should be here before long. I imagine they're not far from Heatherton now. Johnny said he'd leave Rossville about.
Aunt Penny is far away, isn't she, Uncle Johnny?
Well, pretty far away from Rossville, Julie, but not far away from us right now. Another few miles and we'll be in Heatherton.
Why is Aunt Penny in the hospital way down here?
Well, because it was right near here that the accident happened.
Oh, look, Uncle Johnny Keith.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Uncle Freddie's farm?
Well, no, it isn't, honey.
But Uncle Freddie has pigs.
Well, a lot of farms have pigs, Julie. Uncle Freddie's farm is a mile behind us now.
How many?
Oh, about 40 or 45.
That's a lot of miles, isn't it?
Well, not too many. But it's a lot when it's on the end of your nose.
Oh, Uncle Johnny, you're as silly as Uncle Freddie. Who ever heard of miles on the end of anybody's nose? The only thing on the end of anybody's nose is the end of a nose.
Well, I stand corrected, Julie. I'm sorry. Well, we've just passed the Heatherton city limits. We'll be seeing Penny soon.
She'll be glad to see us, won't she?
I imagine she will. Now, you'll be a good girl and be quiet, won't you?
Yes, I'll be quiet. Do I have to whisper, though?
Well, in the hall you do. You don't have any objections to whispering, do you?
Mm-hmm. I don't like to whisper.
Oh, why not?
It squeezes a word so it hurts.
Well, then you better not talk at all in the halls and wait until you get to Penny's room, huh?
I won't have to whisper to Aunt Penny.
No, I don't think so. But, you don't want to be too noisy. Aunt Penny doesn't feel well.
I won't be too noisy.
Well, I'm sure you won't. Well, here's where we turn off to the hospital. You see, there it is, way up ahead. That big building there.
Oh, it's awful pretty.
Yeah, it is. Now remember what you said about being a good girl, Julie, and you'll be able to come see Penny again very soon.
Come in.
Hello, Penny.
Hello, Aunt Penny.
Oh, Johnny, Julie, come in.
Thank you. Well, they really have you bandaged up, don't they, Penny?
I looked like a mummy yesterday, Johnny.
Here's a present for you, Aunt Penny.
Thank you, Julie.
You can unwrap it right away, too, if you want.
Oh, I certainly do. Oh, let's see.
You unwrap it for her, Julie, huh?
Well, your arm is all covered up. Does it hurt much, Aunt Penny?
Not anymore, Julie. Go on, darling. You open my present for me, will you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Johnny, it's good to see you again.
Well, it's good to see you, Penny.
Not like this, though.
Well, you look much better than I expected. And, I'd have come to see you sooner, only they wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I know. Dr. Ryan told me you phone twice a day.
Well, I'm going to fix that guy. He promised he wouldn't tell. But I'm glad he did.
Oh, Johnny.
Here's your present, Penny. I hope you like it.
Julie, it's a book. Oh, darling, it's just the book I've been wanting to read. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'll bring you another one next time I come to.
No, you don't have to, Julie.
But I want to. Uncle Johnny, am I being good enough to come to see Aunt Penny again?
Well, you certainly are, Julie.
Well, then I'm coming again tomorrow, maybe. Can I?
Well, not tomorrow, Julie, but soon.
When I feel a lot better, Julie, then you can come see me every day.
Oh, Aunt Penny.
Well, what's the matter, honey?
The face is all hurt.
Yes, Julie, I know, but it's going to be all right.
Oh, it's got to be, Aunt Penny. It's so pretty.
It'll be just the way it was before, Julie.
Well, those cuts don't look bad, Penny. They should heal perfectly.
Yeah, I've been told they would.
Oh, good. Oh, by the way, how's Barry?
They just finished operating on him, Johnny.
Any further news?
No, I'm still waiting. Dr. Ryan said he'd tell me as soon as there was anything to tell.
Well, I wouldn't worry, Penny. I understand this guy Reynolds is the best brain man in the business.
Yeah, he is.
What's a brain man, Aunt Penny?
Oh, he's a doctor who knows all about the brain, Julie. Just the way a bone man is a doctor who knows all about bones.
Oh.
When do they say Barry?
I thought a brain man was a man who sells brains to people who don't have any. Like an ice cream.
There's somebody at the door, Johnny. Go see who it is, will you?
Why, sure.
Why did you and Uncle Johnny laugh, Aunt Penny?
Because you said something funny, darling.
Oh,
Julie.
hello, Johnny.
Well, hello, Dr. Ryan.
Johnny, do you mind leaving a minute? I want to see Penny alone.
Well, no, not at all, Dr. Ryan. Julie!
Yes, Uncle Johnny?
Come out in the hall with me a minute, will you?
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you something.
What, Uncle Johnny? Oh, no, Dr. Ryan.
I thought maybe you'd like to see.
Penny, I'm sorry to interrupt a pleasant visit.
Oh, that's all right, Dr. Ryan. You have some news about Barry, huh?
Yes, I do.
The operation's over. You were telling the truth about that, weren't you?
Yes, Penny. It's over.
How was it?
We don't know, Penny. We don't know. Even Reynolds doesn't know.
Well, why? Can't you tell whether or not it worked? Isn't he all right?
Penny, we expected him to regain consciousness as soon as he came out from under the anesthetic. That would have been a good sign.
But what happened?
He's still unconscious, Penny. And so it looks rather bad.
Has the operation failed? Have the efforts of one of the world's greatest surgeons failed to save young Barry Carlton's life? Is this the death knell for Penny's hopes and dreams? Be sure to listen to the next dramatic episode of Hearts in Harmony. KCB. KCB. KCB means Kroger Cut Beef, and Kroger Cut Beef means more meat for your money. That's right. Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat, less waste. Because before the meat is weighed and priced, the Kroger method of cutting beef removes excess bone, excess waste, and stringy ends. For example, if porterhouse steak is your favorite, you'll find that at Kroger's you don't pay steak price for stringy ends and waste. The Kroger method of cutting beef removes the long, stringy end and excess waste before the steak is weighed and priced. But see for yourself by visiting your Kroger store. Notice that you get more meat, less waste, and it's top U.S. government grades of beef. Beef that's tender, juicy, rich red, and marbled with just the right amount of flavory fat. Remember, whether you buy a steak or roast, Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat for your money. Yes, everybody's happy when you go to your neighborhood Kroger store for Kroger Cut Beef. Your family loves the deliciousness, the juicy flavor of Kroger beef. You love the way it cooks up so perfectly. And your pocketbook loves the fact that Kroger Cut Beef gives you more meat for your money. Get some without delay. Make it a rule to get Kroger Cut Beef and get more meat, less waste at your neighborhood Kroger store. Be sure to listen in Monday, same time, same station, for another absorbing transcribed chapter of Hearts in Harmony.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents
X minus 1.
Tonight, the discovery of Morneal Matheway by William Tent.
Everyone is astonished at the change in Morneal Matheway since he was discovered. Everyone, that is, but me. They remember him as an unbathed and untalented Greenwich Village painter who began almost every second sentence with I and ended every third one with me. You see, I understand the change in him, because I was there the day he was discovered. We were talking about his discovery that day. I was sitting carefully balanced on the one wooden chair in his cold little Bleecker Street studio, because I was too sophisticated to sit in the easy chair.
Come on, Dave, take a comfortable seat.
Oh, no, Morneal, oh, no. I know about that chair.
Now, what do you mean? It's the only comfortable chair in the room.
Yeah, I know. Look at it. Broken down springs, very high in the front and low in the back.
Sure, it conforms with the position of the spine.
Yeah, sure. And when you sit in it, things begin sliding out of your pockets. Loose change, keys, wallets, anything. What do you do, Morneal? Pay the rent on your studio with that easy chair?
Well, as a matter of fact, it is rather profitable.
And that's why I'll sit on the wooden chair, if you don't mind.
Oh, now, don't be bourgeois.
Well, I notice you always sit on the bed.
That's because I'm a good host.
I see. Well, how's the painting going?
Oh, great, fabulous.
You sell any paintings?
No. You know, Dave, I can't wait for the day when some dealer, some critic with an ounce of brain sees my work. I can't miss, Dave. I know I can't miss. I'm just too good. Sometimes I get frightened at how good I am. Why, it's almost too much talent for one man.
Well, there's always...
Not that it's too much talent for me. I'm big enough to carry it, fortunately. I'm large enough of soul.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear it. Now, if you don't mind...
You know what I was thinking about this morning?
No, but to tell you the truth,
I was thinking about Picasso, Dave. Picasso and Rouault. I'd just gone for a walk through the pushcart area to have my breakfast. You know, the old hand's quicker than the eye.
Yes, I know. I've seen you do it. You're the only man I know who can ask directions to Houston Street and fill his pockets full of bananas at the same time.
Oh, well, society owes the artist something. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I started to think about the art of modern painting. I think about that a lot, Dave. It troubles me.
You do, huh? Well,
I was thinking, who is really doing important work in painting today? Who is really an unquestionable great? I could think of only 3 names. Picasso, Rouault, and me.
Well, naturally.
Just 3 names, no more. Oh, it made me feel very lonely, Dave.
Yes, well, I can see that. But
then I asked myself, why is this so? Has absolute genius always been so rare? Why has my impending discovery been delayed so long? Oh, I've thought about it for a long time, Dave. I've thought about it humbly, carefully, because it's an important question, and this is the answer I came up with.
Don't bother waiting for the answer that Morneal came up with. It turned out to be a theory of aesthetics I'd heard at least a dozen times before from a dozen other painters in the village. Morneal was a bad painter, there was no question about it. I say that not only from my opinion. I've roomed with 2 modern painters, and I've been married for a year to another, but... Well, for example, a friend of mine, a fine critic of modern art, took a look at one of Morneal's paintings, which he hung over my fireplace in spite of my protests, and just kind of stared slack-jawed.
What does he call that technique?
Well, he says it's smudge on smudge.
Well, I can believe it. Smudge on smudge, white on white, non-objectivism, neo-abstractionism, call it what you like. There's nothing there, nothing. Well, it doesn't even have the interest of those paintings that chimpanzee did a couple of years ago. He's just another of those loudmouth, frowsy, frustrated dilettantes that infest the village. Why do you waste your time with him?
Well, for one thing, he lives right around the corner, and he's kind of colorful in his own sick way. And he does have one great talent.
It's not in painting.
No. Now, you see, I just get by as far as living expenses are concerned. Things like good paper to write on, good books for my library, I can't touch them. And sometimes the yearning gets too great. You know, a newly published collection by Wallace Stevens. Well, if I find one I want, I just go over to Morneal's and tell him about it.
He doesn't lend you money.
Oh, no. Now, you see, we go out to the bookstore and we come in separately. And then I start a conversation with the proprietor about some very expensive out-of-print item I'm thinking of ordering, and Morneal just says, "Don't mind me, I'm browsing." Well, that's the high sign. I'm browsing.
Well, what happens?
Well, while I'm keeping the proprietor talking, Morneal snaffles the Stevens.
Isn't that just a little bit,
Oh, well, I intend to pay for them, of course, just as soon as I'm a little ahead.
Well, why does he do this for you?
Oh, well, I pay off. I go through the same routine at an art supply store so Morneal can get canvas and paint and brushes. Of course, I really have to pay for Morneal's browsing. I have to suffer through listening to him, and then my conscience bothers me.
Oh, it does.
Yes, you see, I intend to pay for my things, but I know he doesn't. And that's why my conscience bothers me. Well, here he was the day he was discovered, sitting in his room, and Morneal was running on about his own genius.
No, I can't be as unique as I feel. Other people must be born with the potential of such great talent, but it's destroyed in them before they can reach artistic maturity. Why? How? Well, let's examine the role that society plays in all of this.
What's that? You got a hi-fi set?
Nonsense. That's a crass materialistic concept that I should...
Something is happening. Hey, when did you put the purple lights in?
Purple? Oh, what's that?
Look, it's shimmering. It's coming right through the wall. It looks like a box.
We can't both be having an artistic vision. You're not the type.
No, I'm not, and I'm not drunk either. Look out, something's going to happen.
Morneal Matheway?
Well, who are you? Where'd you come from?
You are Morneal Matheway?
Yes.
My name is Glescu. I bring you greetings from 2487 AD.
Oh, 2487?
AD?
I realize this is a difficult phenomenon for you to grasp entirely, but here I am. We will now indulge in the 20th century custom of shaking hands. Mr. Morneal Matheway?
Oh, well, sure. Shake. Yeah.
And you, sir?
Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Shake.
What a moment. What a supreme moment.
Oh, well, what do you mean, what a moment? What's so special about it? Are you the inventor of time travel?
Me, an inventor? No. Time travel was invented by Antoinette Ingeborg, and, well, that was after your time. It's hardly worth going into at the moment, especially since I only have half an hour.
Why half an hour?
The skin drum can only be maintained that long. The skin drum is, well, call it the transmitting device that enables me to appear in your period. There is such an enormous expenditure of power required that a trip into the past is made only every 50 years. The privilege is awarded as a sort of go-bell. I believe I have the word right. It is go-bell, isn't it? The award made in your time?
Well, you wouldn't mean Nobel by any chance, a Nobel Prize?
That's it, the Nobel Prize. A trip is awarded to outstanding scholars as a kind of Nobel Prize. Once every 50 years, the man selected by the Gardemax is the most preeminent, that sort of thing, you know. Up to now, of course, it's always gone to historians, or they frittered it away on the siege of Troy and the first atom bomb explosion at Los Alamos, or the discovery of America, things like that. But this year...
Yes? Well, what kind of scholar are you?
I am an art scholar. My specialty is art history, and my special field in art history is...
What?
You, Mr. Matheway. In my own period, I may say without much contradiction, I am the greatest living authority on the life and works of Morneal Matheway. My special field is you.
Dave, did you hear that? Dave! I heard. Do you mean that I'm famous? That famous?
Famous? You, my dear sir, are beyond fame. You are one of the immortals the human race has produced.
That famous?
That famous. Who is the man with whom modern painting in its full glory is said to have definitely begun? Who is the man whose designs and color have dominated architecture for the past 5 centuries? Who is responsible for the arrangement of our cities, the shape of our artifacts, the texture of our clothing?
Me.
You. No other man in the history of art has exerted such a massive influence over design. To whom can I compare you, sir? To what other artist in history can I possibly compare you?
Rembrandt? Da Vinci?
Rembrandt and Da Vinci in the same breath as you. That's ridiculous. They lacked your universality, your taste for the cosmic.
Wow.
Mr. Glasgow, excuse me. Do you happen to know of a poet named David Danziger? Did much of his work survive?
Is that you?
Yes, that's me. Dave Danziger?
Well, no, I don't think so. The only poet I can remember for this time and this part of the world is Peter Tebb.
Tebb? Never heard of him.
Then this must have been before he was discovered. But you see, I am an art scholar. Well, you see, checking my chronometer, I see my time is getting short. But it is an overwhelming delight for me to be standing in your studio, Mr. Matheway, and looking at you at last in the flesh. I wonder if you would mind obliging me with a small favor.
Oh, sure. You name it. Nothing's too good for you. What do you want?
I wonder, I'm sure you don't mind, could you possibly let me look at your painting? The one that you're working on at this very moment.
Well, sure. I have one right over here. Just, now pull the easel around. There you are. I intend to call this Figurines number 29.
Oh, but this...
What's the matter?
Well, surely this isn't your work, Mr. Matheway?
Yeah. It's my work, all right. Figurines number 29. Recognize it?
No, I do not recognize it, and that is a fact for which I am extremely grateful. Could I see something else, please? Something a little later.
Well, that's the latest. Everything else is earlier. Here, you might like this. Now, I call this Figurines number 22. I think it's the best of my early period.
Oh, dear. You know, well, this looks like smears of paint on top of other smears of paint.
Right. Only I call it smudge on smudge. But you probably know all about that, being such an authority on me. And now, here we have figurines number 12.
Do you mind leaving these figurines, Mr. Matheway? I'd like to see something of yours with color and form.
Well, I haven't done any real color work for a long time. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. I have one over here somewhere, an old canvas. I was going to paint over it. Here we are. This is one of the few examples of my mauve and mottled period that I've kept.
No, I can't imagine why. It's positively, oh, dear.
Oh, now, wait a minute. Let me show you some of my intestinal period. Here. Here's a particularly good one. It's called Large Intestine Rampant. You like it?
No. Oh, please. I think I'd like to sit down.
Well, take the comfortable chair. And here's another one called Small Intestine Incisive. Oh, it's rather good, don't you think? I managed to avoid completely any definite line. You notice that?
I don't suppose you ever drink of Glafax. Oh, no, of course you don't. It hasn't been invented yet.
Oh, now here's one that's bound to be great. It's one of my earlier smudge on smudges. It's called Fly Ash. I painted it by coating the canvas with slow-setting glue and leaving it out on the window for about 2.5 hours. Notice the delicate deposit of soot.
Oh, please. Please, Miss Matheway, please.
Oh, I've got lots more.
I don't understand this. All these canvases, this is obviously before you discover yourself and your true technique. But I'm looking for a sign, a hint to the genius that is to come, and I find...
Well, how about this one? Here.
Oh, please. Oh, take that away. Oh, dear. Oh, dear, no. Oh, look, I'll have to leave soon. I don't understand this at all. Let me show you something here, gentlemen. Here, a pocket edition of the source book.
The complete paintings of Morneal Matheway, 1928-1996. Were you born in 1928?
Yep. May 23rd, 1928.
Here, look at the first painting.
Well, that's beautiful. I mean, the color, that's incredible.
Oh, well, that stuff. Well, why didn't you tell me you wanted that kind of stuff?
You mean you have paintings like this, too?
No, not paintings. One painting. Oh, I did it last week as a sort of an experiment, but I wasn't satisfied with the way it turned out, so I gave it to the girl downstairs. Would you like to look at it?
Oh, yes. Very much.
Well, here, I'll just toss your book on the bed. Come on, it won't take a minute or two. Oh, she isn't home. I thought she'd be home now. Oh, I did so want you to see that painting.
I want to see it. I want to see anything that looks like your mature work. But time is getting short. The chronometer...
I'll tell you what. Anita here has a couple of cats that she asked me to feed when she's away for a while. So she's given me the key to her apartment. Suppose I, browse upstairs and get it.
But
Suppose I browse through my room and get it. Get it?
Oh, yeah. You go ahead and browse, sure.
Fine, but please hurry.
Oh, sure, I'll hurry. I won't take long browsing.
Well, that was it, the high sign. I'd seen Morneal Matheway in action too many times as a shoplifter not to understand it. He was going upstairs to lift that book that he'd dropped on the bed. I knew he hadn't ever painted a picture like the one in the book, but he would now. Only he wouldn't paint them. He'd copy them. Well, I started talking automatically. You paint yourself, Mr. Glasgow?
No. Of course, I wanted to be an artist when I was a boy. I imagine every critic starts out that way, but I found it far easier to write about paintings than to do them. Once I began reading the life of Morneal Matheway, I knew I had found my field. Not only do I empathize closely with his paintings, but he seems so much like a person I could have known and liked. That's one of the things that puzzles me. He's quite different from what I had imagined.
Yes, I'll bet he is.
Of course, history has a way of adding romance to an important figure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dear, I'm running out of time here. Do you think you'll be back with the key soon? I've practically no time left. I've just got to get upstairs to the time translator. I just can't wait. I'll have to hurry now. Oh, dear, I did want to see an original Matheway. I did want to. Mr. Matheway, Oh!
What's the matter?
The time translator. It isn't here. It's gone.
The book is gone, too.
And Matheway, he stranded me here. He must have figured out that getting inside and closing the door made it return.
Yeah, he's a great figure. And he'll probably figure out a very plausible story to tell the people in your time to explain how the whole thing happened. Why should he work his head off in the 20th century when he can be an outstanding hero-worship celebrity in the 25th?
So what will happen if they ask him to paint merely one picture?
Oh, he'll probably tell them he's already done his work and feels he can no longer add anything of importance to it. He'll no doubt end up giving lectures on himself. Don't worry. He'll make out. It's you I'm worried about. You're stuck here, aren't you? Are they likely to send a rescue party after you?
No. Every scholar who wins the award has to sign a waiver of responsibility in case he doesn't return. No, I'm stuck here. Tell me, is it very bad living in this period?
Well, not so bad. Of course, you'll need a social security card. And I don't know how you go about getting one at your age. And, well, the immigration authorities may want to question you since you're sort of an illegal alien.
Oh, dear. That's awful.
Wait a minute. It needn't be. I'll tell you what. Morneal has a social security card. He had a job a couple of years ago. He keeps his birth certificate in that drawer along with his other papers. Now, why don't you just assume his identity? He'll never show you up as an imposter.
So do you think I could? Won't I be... won't his friends, his relatives...
No, he hasn't got any family, and I'm about the only friend he's got. You could get away with it. Maybe grow a beard and dye it blonde. Naturally, the big problem would be earning a living. Being a specialist on Matheway and the art movements derived from him wouldn't get you set an awful lot right now.
But I could paint. I've always dreamed of being an artist. I don't have much talent, but there are all kinds of artistic novelties I know about, all kinds of graphic innovations that don't exist in your time. Surely that would be enough, even without talent, to make a living for me on some third or fourth-rate level.
It certainly was. But not on a third or fourth-rate level. Mr. Glasgow, that is Morneal Matheway, is the finest painter alive today and the unhappiest. After his last wildly successful exhibition, I remember he said to me,
"What's the matter with all these people praising me like that? I don't have an ounce of real talent in me. All my work is completely derivative. I've tried to do something, anything that was completely my own, but I'm so steeped in Matheway that I can't seem to make my own personality come through. And those idiotic critics go on raving about me, and the work isn't even my own."
Well, then whose is it?
Matheway's, of course. We thought there couldn't be a time paradox. I wish you could read all the scientific papers on the subject. They fill whole libraries because it isn't possible, the time specialists argue, for a painting to be copied from a future reproduction and so have no original artist. But that's what I'm doing. I'm copying from that book by memory.
Look, Glasgow, that is Matheway. Don't knock yourself out.
But it's dishonest.
No, it isn't. You're deliberately trying not to copy those paintings. You're working so hard at it that you refuse to think about that book or even discuss it. As a matter of fact, when I tried to get you to talk about it a little while ago, you couldn't actually remember it.
That's true. It's true.
You're the real Morneal Matheway, and there's no paradox. You're actually painting those pictures. You're not copying them from memory.
I know in my heart that they're not mine.
All right, I'll forget it. Anyway, you're a much nicer guy than Matheway ever was. And besides, a buck is a buck.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features Lulu by Clifford D. Simak, a story which demonstrates that a spaceship should be a Darb, a Smasher, a Pip, a Butte, but man all battle stations if it ever becomes a sweetheart of a ship. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you The Discovery of Morneal Matheway, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by William Tenn and adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in our cast were Leon Janney as Matheway, Guy Repp as the critic, Wendell Holmes as Glescu, and Les Damon as Dave. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Countdown for blast off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire.
From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1.
Tonight, we take you some 800 years into the future to meet man's best friend.
Well, what's the matter? Who's there? What? Oh, turn on the annunciator. All right, I'm coming. I'm coming. Well, stand in front of the screen. I can't see you.
I am in front of the screen, Mr. Schnee. You haven't turned up the viewing control.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you are. Do I know you?
May I be the first to congratulate you, Mr. Schnee?
You may indeed. What for?
Oh, you haven't heard the news. Good, then I shall be the first. I imagine I got a head start on the others because of my superior facilities for locating you. Your address wasn't given. These pronouncements do tend to be a bit vague. It's a matter of tradition, I suppose.
I haven't heard any news for days. I've been listening to my sound tapes and and meditating. Now, wait a minute. I'll let you in. Oh, the auto bursar must have forgotten to pay the doorbell. Have to open it manually. Just a minute. All right, you can come in now.
Well, I suppose you don't know who I am.
Well, you're wearing the uniform of an upper echelon salesman. I just wanted to warn you, nobody can force me to buy anything. I'm a free citizen.
Oh, now, come, Mr. Schnee.
I suppose the big news is I'm the lucky householder to whom the little gem room expander will first be offered.
Oh, nothing of the sort. I'm not a common salesman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't notice your merchant prince badge. Come in, have a chair. No, not that one. It's my meditator. It's still running.
Oh, thank you.
Well?
Mr. Schnee, our prognosticator has just given its fortnightly prognostication. You are going to be our new ruler. Congratulations. I'm sure you'll be a splendid one, too.
But wait, what's to become of the old ruler?
You're scheduled to dispose of him sometime this month. Now, Mr. Schnee, allow me to introduce myself. I am Biedrich Floria, Vice President of the Munitions and Container Corporation. Here I have our latest model in this case right here. There we are. Beautiful, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you will only agree to shoot Overlord Kip with a Floria Semper Fidelis gun, my corporation will be happy to place a substantial amount of credit at your disposal in any bank you choose. $6 billion, to be exact. Now, if you'll just sign here on the dotted line...
Nonsense.
Oh, come now, Mr. Schnee. Even a ruler can use money. Bribery for government officials, bread and circuses for the people. Oh, money's a very useful commodity, Mr. Schnee. Shall we say, $7 billion?
I don't doubt that money is useful, but when I said nonsense, I meant the prognosticator.
Mr. Schnee?
The whole thing is a lot of, nonsense. A whole planet of supposedly intelligent people listening to what's really more an oracle. A machine can't read the future. It's impossible.
Oh, dear, Mr. Schnee, that's sacrilege. You can't talk, confound it, sir. You can't talk that way about the machine. Listen, after all, let's look at this reasonably. Machines can and do answer all the problems of our daily life. So why shouldn't a superior machine be able to tell the future?
If you ask me, behind the wires and gimmicks and whatnots of the machine, there's a secret room in which a half-mad, half-intoxicated old priestess sits delivering her Delphic pronouncements. Might as well have an above-board oracle and be done with it.
Now, Mr. Schnee, even our ruler shouldn't flout the authority of machinery. Of course, it's all right when you're alone with friends like me, but in public you shouldn't.
Mr. Schnee, I'm from the Daily Disseminator. How does it feel to be ruler prognosticate? Perhaps you tell us in your own words.
Oh, that's what I get for leaving the Annunciator on.
There's your communitive.
All right. I'll answer it. Hello.
Mr. Schnee?
Yeah.
I'm Overlord Kip. I understand you are the young man who is destined to dispose of me and take my place.
Well, honestly, Your Honorship, I haven't the slightest
You'll make it swift and painless, won't you? Suppose you come around to the palace around 1 o'clock or so. We can have a bite of lunch and discuss the matter together. After all, I think you'd agree that I have been a reasonably good ruler, so I have the right to die with dignity.
Oh, absolutely. No question of that. I think it's a very good idea having a chat about it first. It is awkward to dispose of someone you haven't met previously.
Thank you, Mr. Schnee. I hope you'll find your successor as cooperative as yourself.
I wonder whether he wants me to make an appointment so he'll have a band of counter-assassins ready to kill me. You know, that would save him the expense of a standby guard. He's pretty tight, you know.
He wouldn't dream of doing anything of the sort. Overlord Kit knows what's due his position. He has a sense of duty and responsibility, which, unfortunately, seems to be lacking in his successor, if you'll excuse me speaking frankly. I am, of course, considerably older than you, and so I feel...
It's quite all right. You may speak freely.
Furthermore, if he had you killed, the people would probably give him a painful and lingering death for attempting to interfere with the course of destiny. Oh, by the way, speaking of the people, the Polo will probably be around to hail their new leader soon. You really should work up a few well-chosen words.
Well, I'm not going to do it. They can't make me kill him and take over, and that is flat. I am not the administrative type. I never have been.
Well, in that case, the people will probably kill you for attempting to interfere with fate. Have a cigar?
But I wouldn't have done anything.
There are sins of omission as well as commission. Come now, it's true. A ruler's life expectancy isn't very long. At least it hasn't in the last few reigns, but it's longer than yours will be if you refuse to fulfill your destiny.
I wouldn't make a fit ruler. Consider my origins. I wouldn't tell this to anyone but you. I'm illegitimate. I don't even know who my father is.
It's a wise child who knows his own father. And some of the most celebrated leaders in history have been illegitimate. Look at William the Conqueror, Alexander Hamilton.
I don't think that's too much of a recommendation.
You see, almost anyone can be a leader. The important thing is that he be destined for leadership.
But I'm no good at it. Everybody says so. I've never done a thing in my life. My aged mother has had to work to support me.
Well, it's time enough that you stood on your own 2 feet, my boy. Remember, destiny must take its course. Oh, excuse me, I'm due on radio monitor in a few seconds. If you don't mind, I'll broadcast from here. I'll just check my equipment here. Fine. Now, here we go. My friends, allow me to introduce to you your new ruler, Gervais Schnee. He is planning to assassinate Overlord Kip with a Floria Semper Fidelis gun. Floria Semper Fidelis guns retail from credit 2.98 for the peasant's pistol, all up to credit 1089.98 for the Super Deluxe Conspirator's model. But each is the best attainable for the price. Mr. Schnee will, of course, use the Super Deluxe model. And now I give you Mr. Schnee.
Right into here?
Oh, anywhere. It's non-directional.
Oh. Thank you for your confidence and support. I only hope I prove worthy of it. That's all.
Thank you, ruler prognosticate Gervais Schnee.
Will you have some more wine, Mr. Schnee?
Oh, no, thank you, Overlord Kip. I've had too much already.
It's a delightful vintage, isn't it? I think it was bought by Overlord Jasper about 7 rains ago. You'll find the cellars in perfect order. I'll give you the inventory and the key a little later.
Do we have to talk about it?
Oh, well, one has to take these things as they come, you know. Here today, gone tomorrow. That reminds me. Will tomorrow suit you?
Well, of course, it really doesn't make any difference to me.
All right, then. We'll set it for tomorrow, if that's convenient for both of us. I have the afternoon clear. We'll make a public announcement a little later.
Well, all right, if you say so.
Of course. And now we can go into my study and discuss the details at our leisure. I've got half a box of some wonderful cigars left over. I think you'll enjoy them.
Oh, Mr. Schnee. Mr. Schnee, you aren't ready yet.
Well, I can't button the top button of this uniform.
Oh, isn't it handsome? Black and silver, the traditional assassin's uniform.
It was made for me without charge by Hansen and Kruster, the tailors.
Yes, of course. It's the curse these days, you know, the over-commercialization of important public functions. Oh, wait a minute, I have your pistol ready here. I bet you're excited. Couldn't sleep last night, eh?
No, well, yes, I did toss a bit.
Well, I see you're getting telegrams. Isn't that nice? Had your breakfast?
Oh, well, I don't think I'm exactly in the mood for eating.
Oh, you should, you know. A good breakfast makes good aim.
Well, I really couldn't eat a thing.
Well, you'll have a fine lunch after it's all over. I saw your black and silver limousine at the door.
What? I don't have a black and silver limousine.
You do now. Oh, yes. You know, there's going to be a brass band along. There'll be crowds cheering. Oh, it's such a lovely morning. You've hired 2 removers, I trust.
Removers. Yes, I think so.
Good. Oh, what pageantry. The black and silver limousine, yourself in your lovely uniform, the black cloak and hood of the body removers sitting beside the chauffeurs, silent. The band playing the funeral march as you move down the boulevard. Crowds cheering, little children let out of school presenting you with flowers and television cameras. Oh, what a sight, what a sight. Well, now it's about 10:30. Shall we be off? Well, come on. Get out of the car, Mr. Schnee.
I don't feel so good.
Well, come on now. The television cameras are ready. There we are. Just a moment. Now, ruler prognosticate Schnee, allow me to load your super deluxe conspirator's Floria Semper Fidelis gun for you.
It's already loaded.
I'm supposed to do it now for the cameras.
It's already loaded.
Permit me to check it, then?
It's perfectly all right, I tell you. No, don't touch it. Nobody would have any difficulty loading a Semper Fidelis gun.
Wait, yes, that's right. Yes, of course. Whether you buy the peasant's or the conspirator's model, both have the same freeloading mechanism.
Here we are, candy, popcorn, hashish, yogurt. Buy your refreshments here. Program. Sometimes you can't tell the assassins from the corpse without a program. Get your program for the program.
All right, Schnee, it's time. Let's go.
here we are again, eh?
Overlord Kip, I am officially here.
Just a minute, old man. I have my speech, you know.
Your speech? Oh, I'm sorry, really.
Well, that's all right. Ladies and gentlemen, before the conclusion of this ceremony, I wish to remind you of a few important facts concerning my reign, which comes to an end in just a few minutes. I call your attention to the budget of 2786. 83 billion credits against an outgo of 72 billion. Not to mention the dam across the Volga River, which was constructed 3 months short of the proposed 5-year date at a cost of 73 billion. I thank you. Well, that's it, old man, huh?
Are you all done?
Why, yes, I think I've covered everything. Well, goodbye and good luck, Overlord Schnee. Anytime you're ready.
You mean now?
Well, come along, old man. The networks have only cleared an hour. There's a commercial program starting in 3 minutes. Get on with it.
Well, all right. Here goes. All right. Everyone will now please leave while the removers take over.
But the television, the cameras, it's part of the ceremony. Why can't they televise the removal?
Everybody leave immediately!
They're all gone now, Overlord Schnee. Perhaps...
You too.
But after all...
Out! I want to meditate.
Well, very well. All right.
Oh, alone at last. Kip! Overlord Kip!
Phew. I don't think I'd have been able to stay still much longer.
You all right?
Schnee, you're a good shot. That blank really stung. On a very tender spot, I might add.
No time for chatting. We've got to get this over in a hurry. Now comes the part where your friends will have to look like real removers. I hope they can give it the professional touch.
Don't worry about us. We are real removers. At least both of us have participated in removals. I'll take off my hood.
But wait. Why, you're Overlord Morehouse. I've seen you in pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one. You're Shinnick. You died before I was born. That is, you were supposed to have died. Both of you were. Morehouse was supposed to have killed you.
Well, we're not precisely dead, only retired, you might say. The prognosticator didn't say he had to be killed, just disposed of, as Kip undoubtedly pointed out to you in your little interview together.
Sorry I couldn't tell you the truth, old man, but you might have changed your mind and given us away.
We've formed a little club of dead overlords.
We're looking forward to the day when you join us, Overlord Schnee.
Well, you better hurry. If the 4 of us are discovered, the mob will tear us to pieces.
Oh, you're right. Get on the stretcher, Kip. Bad enough we're going to have to carry you out. At least don't expect us to lift you up.
Floria?
Yes, Your Honorship?
The prognosticator is right here in the palace, isn't it?
Yes, Your Honorship.
Lead me to it immediately.
Certainly, Your Honorship. It's this way. Here you are, Your Honorship. This is the prognosticator. 20 stories high, 100 meters wide, the center of our entire civilization.
Leave me. I would be alone with the prognosticator.
But Your Honorship...
Leave me, and take all the technicians with you.
Yes. Yes, Your Honorship. You're all alone now, Your Honorship.
You too. Leave me.
Well, yes. Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honorship. Your wishes are my command.
Well.
Can't you read, you dumb cluck? That door says private.
Open up. It's me, Gervais. Open up.
Oh, all right. Don't rush me. Oh, it's you, is it?
Let me in.
Well, hurry up. Don't want any of these nosy scientists around. Well, what do you want?
Still the same old place, huh? Teapot. Your crystal ball has dust on it. And why don't you get yourself a new pack of gypsy cards? And please get rid of that old overstuffed horror.
That old overstuffed horror is a rare old psychoanalyst couch. You see that hole? That's the original stuffing.
What is that smell? That's not tea you're drinking, it's gin.
Why, of course it is. Nice to see you, Sonny. It's about time you came to pay your old mother a visit. I kind of thought something like this would stir you up.
Mother, you know you shouldn't have done it.
What'd I do?
You fixed the prognostications, that's what you did. Although why you had to pick on me,
I got tired of supporting you. You're a big boy, and it's about time you earned your own living. Besides, I thought it'd be a good idea to elect a sympathetic administration. Sympathetic to me, that is. Palace needs a new ventilating system. The air in here is terrible.
Well, why didn't you use the prognosticator to get new ventilation put in?
Oh, they'd have gotten around it the same way you got around killing Kip. But you pay attention to the prognosticator, boy. Don't you try to weasel out of what it says by looking for double meanings. It's time you overlords learned that when the prognosticator says something, it means it.
Yes, Mother.
I'd hate to have to give orders to have my own boy disposed of. The last 3 disposals weren't so bad. But sometimes those disposals can turn out real messy.
Yes, Mother.
Oh, maybe blood is thicker than water, but not much.
Yes, Mother.
And why shouldn't you listen to my prognostications, huh? Just because they're dolled up a little doesn't mean they're not true. Don't I have a crystal ball? Don't I have a gypsy card pack? Don't I have tea leaves? Best tea leaves money can buy.
Yes, Mother.
So? What are you going to do?
I'm going to have the ventilating system attended to right away.
That's my boy. Now look at these here tea leaves in the bottom of my cup of gin.
Yes, Mother.
I can see that everything's going to work out fine. Just fine.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Hardest Bargain by Evelyn Smith. Galaxy Magazine on your newsstand today. Tonight, X-1 has brought you Man's Best Friend, a story from the pages of Galaxy, written by Evelyn Smith and adapted for radio by Ernest Kanoy. Featured in the cast were William Redfield as Schnee, Wendell Holmes as Floria, Santos Ortega as Kip, and Leona Powers as Mother, with Raymond Edward Johnson and Bob Hastings. Your announcer, Radcliffe Hall. With this broadcast, X-1 concludes its present series. The show will return to the air on Thursday, June 20th. Check your local radio listings for the new date and time. That's Thursday, June 20th. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
The magic island of Euclidia may be a grand place for G47 and his scientists, but the Gregory Yacht Party are not enjoying it much. When Mrs. Patricia Gregory with Captain Tex Bradford and young Jerry Hall sailed from Los Angeles in search of Joan Gregory, Mrs. Gregory's long-lost daughter, they had many thrilling adventures and once made their escape from the scientists on Euclidia. Their freedom lasted only a few hours, however, and once again they are prisoners, held in the 9th level of the artificial island. Jerry and Joan have gone on a tour of that level, looking for some means of escape, and Patricia and Tex have followed them. Now, both searching parties are apparently hopelessly lost, as the last time we saw them, Jerry and Joan were locked in one steel room, and the captain and Mrs. Gregory in another, where we find them now.
Oh, it's no use, Tex. We're locked in this room to stay.
Sure looks like it, Pat, but why?
Well, we're prisoners, of course.
Yes, but why should this one room close up automatically as soon as we get in it?
I'm not convinced Joan was right about the scientists all giving their attention to something else. I think we've been watched all the time, and this room is a handy place to keep us until G47 is ready to do what he sees fit to do with us.
You may be right. One thing is sure. There's no sense in wearing out our hands trying to push these steel doors open.
Look, Tex, how beautifully polished this steel is. These doors are perfect mirrors.
Mirrors? Uh-huh, that's it.
What's what?
These panels are mirrors. Mirrors of polished steel.
Yes, but
Well,
what?
don't you see, Pat? They're not doors at all.
Not doors?
No.
But they must be. They all look exactly alike.
Yeah, they look alike, but they aren't. Don't you see it? They really are mirrors. And with the exception of one panel, which is actually a door, the rest of them are only reflections.
Then we've been pounding on sections of the wall?
Sure we have. We got excited and lost our heads for a minute. Now all we have to do is to go slow. Try each of these doors, or rather panels, until we find the one that's a real door. We can open it just as easy as we did when we came in.
It's worth trying, at least.
Yes, and we'll take no chances on getting mixed up this time. I've got a heavy black pencil here. We'll make a mark on each panel we try, and we won't be doing all that over again.
All right, well, we'll start with this one. No, it isn't here. I'm sure of that.
Okay, then I'll make a big cross on it, and we'll know what... That's funny.
Have you anything to sharpen the pencil with?
Well, it's sharp enough.
But it didn't leave any mark on the door, Tex.
Watch it now while I try it again.
Tex, did you see that?
Yes, it did make a mark. But within a fraction of a second, almost instantly, the mark faded out.
I don't like this. Everything we come in contact with smacks of the supernatural.
Well, it is a little nerve-wracking, but there's nothing supernatural about it.
Well, that pencil mark disappearing so quickly certainly is...
Some sort of paint they've treated these doors with, I think. Nothing to be afraid of. It sure wrecks my idea about marking the panels.
Then what are we to do?
Well, let's see. Supposing we stand still and count all the panels in the room. Then count them as we go around. That should do it.
What was that, Tex?
Sounded like something heavy struck the roof of this room.
There it is again.
As if a large magnet. Pat, do you feel this room moving?
Yes, Tex. Why, it's rising, isn't it?
I'll say it's rising. This thing acts like an elevator.
It must be an elevator. Jerry and Joan described the sound of those giant magnets when they rode in one of these elevators.
That must be another level we've just passed. The 8th, if Joan was right about ourselves being on the 9th.
But this can't be a regular elevator.
Sure acts like one to me.
But the size of it, Tex, as large as the living room in my home.
I don't seem to care how big anything is around this island. If they want it moved, it moves.
That must have been the 7th floor.
Well, I'm glad we're going up. I'll feel better when we're near the surface of this island.
It isn't very pleasant being locked up 90 feet below the surface of the ocean. But what if we're leaving Jerry and Joan down there?
No use worrying about that now, Pat. We can't control this. We may be getting into a position to help them as well as ourselves.
Yes, and that was the 6th level. And these levels are 10 feet in height. We're moving much slower than in an ordinary elevator.
And this steel room must weigh as much as a half a dozen ordinary elevators.
Of course. I wonder what we'll find at the surface.
Probably a reception by someone who doesn't like us very well.
And Jerry and Joan?
We'll have to wait and see.
That was the 5th floor.
You mean this is the 5th floor? We're still here.
Why, so we are. We've stopped moving.
This must be as far as we're going. Look, Pat, that door is opening.
Then we did try the right one.
Opens easy enough when you know how.
But who's opening it, Tex?
No one. That whole ride of ours was automatically controlled, I believe. Something tells me we ought to get out of this elevator while we have a chance. Might decide to go down again.
Very well, Tex, if you think it's wise.
I think it's just as wise to get out here as it is to allow ourselves to be taken down to that 9th floor again.
We didn't get out any too soon.
Looks that way.
It sounded as if it went up.
We might have stayed on it and reached the top of the island.
I think we'll have a great deal more opportunity to look around here unmolested than we would have on the surface.
No doubt of that. Let's start looking. Same thing here we had down below. Halls and halls full of shining steel doors. We don't know where any of them go.
Joan said all elevator doors open toward the outer rim of the island. And if that's the case, We should be working toward the outside by going straight ahead.
Right. We'll begin with this door in front of us. Well, we got that far anyway. What now?
Well, I'd say straight ahead again, Tex.
You're guessing all right so far. Come on, let's go.
Well, that's a queer-looking thing, Tex. Do you know what it is?
I think it's the nose of one of the Euclidean submarines. Yep, that's what it is. We're in one of the submarine locks. That's the opening in the nose of the sub.
Well, there doesn't seem to be anyone around. Would it be safe to look into the submarine?
Why not? They might as well find us looking at that as at anything else on this island.
Tex, there's someone in that submarine.
Are you sure?
Yes, way back in the stern. I can see a shadow moving around.
Can you see how many people there are?
No. Why?
I have one of the ray guns Joan got for us. I'd be tempted to argue with him if there weren't too many in there.
It might work. Joan said the Euclideans never put more than 2 people on those subs under ordinary conditions.
Hey, Mrs. Gregory, Captain Bradford.
Pat, I thought I heard Jerry.
Yes, but keep your voice down. If we heard him, those people in the submarine must have heard him, too.
Mother, Captain, come in here quietly without speaking further.
Well, that was Joan.
Quiet, Pat, and do as she said. I'll give you a hand. We'll have to climb up into the nose of that sub. Come on, easy now.
I'll make it all right, Tex. Oh, Joan, dear, what on earth?
Quiet, Mother. Get back into the central portion of the ship at once.
What do I do, Joan?
Same as Mother. Hurry and quietly. Come here, Jerry. Quietly now.
Sure, I know.
Help me close this port. Gently.
Gently, it is.
Now lock that breech.
Gotcha.
And now we can hurry back to Mother and the Captain in the central section.
Better be quiet about it.
There is no need for silence now. I have cut off all possible methods of communicating sound or motion to the island.
I can see that you're confident we may speak with safety now, Joan.
We may indeed, Mother.
Then tell us how you kids managed to get here and into this submarine.
It was not cleverness on our part.
I'll say it wasn't. Oh, boy. We got into a room all full of doors and couldn't get out.
Well, that's just exactly what happened to us, wasn't it, Tex?
Yes.
And the room then rose to this level.
And we found out we were in an elevator all the time.
That's exactly what we went through.
Yes.
Well, when we found the nose of this thing open all ready for us and nobody here, we came aboard.
And I had just completed testing the controls, and Jerry was to return to the 9th level in an attempt to bring you up here.
But you got here all by yourselves. So let's get underway.
What do you mean, underway?
Surely, Mother. You and the Captain sit back there where you will not interfere with the controls.
Now, wait a minute. Hold on, Joan. You're not going to try to steal this Euclidean submarine.
She's not going to do anything else but.
Oh, dear. Do you know how to operate it? Are you sure, Joan?
I believe so. I have watched the commander operate the ship many times.
Well, you've sure got your nerve, Joan. But if you'll steal it and think you can run it, we'll ride with you, won't we, Pat?
I should say we will.
Ready, Joan?
One moment, Jerry. That lever will release the mechanism which reverses the nose from that submarine lock. When I signal you, pull the lever well back.
Okay, kid. I'm ready.
Then pull.
Oh, we're not. That's just the outer shell revolve.
But how can we see it?
The submarine is constructed of transparent steel.
Okay, Joan. The nose is clear. Now what?
I will have to perform this alone. To turn around will create too great a disturbance on Euclidia. I must run with reverse jets for a few miles.
Let her go.
Joan, we're going very fast to be running backwards, aren't we?
The speed is identical with the best forward speed. These submarines are reversible. We will soon attain the maximum speed of 48 knots.
48 knots? You mean this thing will make 48 knots an hour underwater?
It sure will. This is the fastest submarine on the island.
And it will operate at a depth of 1 mile, although not at that speed. But if we are pursued, I shall dive for the floor of one of the ocean canyons, and we will never be caught.
Never be caught? Joan, dear, you can't mean we're actually getting away from Euclidia.
To be sure, Mother.
But, June, Isn't there some way G47 and the scientists can overtake us or pull us back to the island?
Not a chance, Tex. This is the fastest submarine they've got, and their magnetic stuff won't work on their own boat.
Correct, Jerry. There is, to my knowledge, no possible way for us to be overtaken and returned to Euclidia.
Oh, Joan, it's wonderful. I can just hardly believe this.
Must be true, though, Pat. We're sure leaving that place behind.
And I'm not doing any crying over it. That magic island is all right for the guys who run it, but I've had enough.
I, too, have had enough, Jerry. I will proceed at full speed.
There's nothing any finer than a taste of freedom after being shut up against your will. The Gregory party is now enjoying their second bit of freedom since landing at Euclidia, the magic island. When Jerry and Joan set out to do a little detective work in the lower levels of the island, they were only hoping, and rather faintly hoping at that they might possibly discover some weak link in the Euclideans' plans to keep them prisoners. They had more good luck than anyone expected, and found one of the fast submarines with no one guarding it. Mrs. Gregory and the captain arrived at the same time, and with Joan at the controls, our four friends have helped themselves to the 100-foot submarine. They are now racing to get away from Euclidia and the power of G47 and his scientists.
I believe we have now attained maximum speed. You may close that valve, Jerry.
Okay, Joan. Close it is.
How can you maintain your speed in this thing if you shut off the compressed air, Joan?
The air is not used as motive power, Captain Bradford. It merely forces the fuel pellets into the combustion tank.
But, Joan, darling, what makes this submarine go?
Did you not see that small cylinder Jerry inserted in that heavy projectile-shaped tank?
See here, Mrs. Gregory, one of these little things.
Well, I see them, Jerry, but they're hardly larger than a golf ball.
They are quite large enough to propel this submersible ship for a distance of 25 miles at maximum speed.
But, Joan, 25 miles on one of these little capsules?
Approximately, Captain.
Oh, sure. There's enough of these little things here to take us to Los Angeles.
To Los Angeles?
Precisely, Mother. The first requirement when a submarine commander lands her boat at Euclidia is to refuel, and the minimum charge is for 5,000 miles.
5,000 miles? And we're only about 4,000 from home.
Then you mean... Oh, I can't even seem to say it. You mean we're actually away from that island with enough fuel to take us safely back to California?
I have stated the simple truth.
Well, it may be the truth, Joan, but it isn't so simple. How's our speed now?
We are making only 44 knots. There is some slight defect in the gas combustion apparatus.
Only 44 knots?
Yeah. Too bad we've got to crawl along at 44 miles an hour on the water. I'll bet the Navy would feel bad if their ships wouldn't do any better than this.
There is no Navy in the world with a submarine that will make any such speed, or even half of it, Jerry.
Oh, Johnny was only kidding you, Joan.
44 knots. 44 nautical miles an hour. Why, that's faster than our heavy surface craft can travel.
It is interesting to contemplate the advances which may be made after this system of propulsion has been perfected.
Yeah, maybe they'll do all right after they've quit fooling around and really get these things to running.
Now, Jerry, if you'll let Joan be sensible for a few minutes, I'd like to ask her a few questions about the continued operation of this boat and learn something about how to navigate. This is my first submarine experience.
Okay, Tex. I'll keep still.
What is it you wish to know, Captain?
Well, you started this thing and you're keeping it running. So if you know how to do that, I'll leave it in your hands. But I'd like to be of some help to you. Thought it might be with the navigation.
Tex is one of the finest navigators in America, Joan.
That is interesting, but there is no need for your services at this time, Captain.
Looks like we're just going for the ride.
Sure looks that way, Jerry.
I believe we are now sufficiently removed from Euclidia that we may, with safety, reverse the craft.
Reverse? You mean we've been going backward all this time?
At 44 knots?
To be sure. I explained that when we left the island.
Don't you remember Joan saying that she didn't dare turn the sub around for fear it would make it such a fuss in the water that the Euclideans might get wise?
Yes, I remember. But in the excitement of getting away, I'd forgotten it.
And we've been running full speed astern for the last 10 minutes?
Precisely.
I don't see why we can't feel that, Joan. I can't ride backwards in the train without feeling it.
On the train, you know you are riding backward, do you not?
Well, sure. But why?
I will give you the same sensation here if you desire it.
You'll give us a sensation?
How can you do anything about that, Joan? We've been steadily running backward, and I haven't noticed it.
I will open the visibility slides in the sides of the submarine.
Hey, don't let that water in.
The water will not come through that transparent steel, and you should know that, Jerry.
Yeah, I did see it before.
How wonderfully clear those openings are. Everything in the water is as plain as day.
Yeah, now you can tell you're going backward all right. Seeing that marine life scooting by in the wrong direction could be mighty upsetting.
I think I'd just as soon go forward, Skipper.
I will now reverse the craft.
What, at this speed?
We will lose momentum gradually. I will cut off the power and run in a wide arc.
How could this thing be so noiseless all at once, Joan? We're still rushing through the water. Why don't we hear the water as we did before?
You did not at any time hear the rush of water around the ship, Captain Bradford. You heard the water passing through the power channels. That steel is not noiseless, as it is much more simple to check your power if you can hear it.
But the rest of this boat is made of noiseless steel.
Yes, Mother.
Boy, you sure see things when you go riding with these Euclideans.
I am no longer a Euclidean, Jerry.
Good for you, Joan.
Then you'd better remember that when we start to tell you how dumb they are in my world.
Joan will soon be of our world, Jerry.
That will make me very happy, Mother. In less than 80 hours, we will arrive in Los Angeles.
Golly whiskers.
I can't think of anything better than that to say, Jerry.
It's almost too much for me.
Hey, you sure take off fast.
We are in a hurry, are we not?
We're in a hurry to get away from Euclidia, yes. But, Joan, is this submarine safe at such speed?
Euclidean machinery is nearly perfect. Speed has no effect on this craft.
Well, it sure has some effect on me. Are we doing full speed already?
The maximum will be attained in a few more seconds, Captain.
One thing nice about these things, they sure make up their minds plenty fast.
Joan, I don't mean to worry you with a lot of childish questions, but I'm interested in navigation. Now, how do you know where we're going?
Just what I'd like to know. These steel slides in the side of the ship are fine, but I can't see where they'd be any help in navigating.
Show them the gadgets, Joan.
Gadget?
Sure, the dingus. Thingamajig you navigate with.
There is nothing like that here, but I will show you how the instruments operate.
Oh, that'll do just as well.
Well, I don't see any instruments, at least not enough to run a submarine with.
We seem to be running all right, though.
Operation of this submarine is very simple. I will pull down the chart of our present course.
Our present course? Do you mean you've had this run charted in advance?
Of course not, Mother. That would be quite impossible as we had no advanced knowledge of the cruise.
Had you there, Pat.
Never mind, Mrs. Gregory. I feel just like you do about it. There's a nice straight line with Los Angeles marked on the north end of it. But how did it get there?
We haven't had any time to draw any pictures since we started.
This is one of our 16 basic or permanent charts, showing a true course from Euclidia to the 16 principal ports of the world.
And our course is a perfectly straight line?
Insofar as navigation is concerned, yes. Although we will naturally deflect to avoid striking any undersea mountains.
Hey, I hope we do.
Yes, but what are you steering this thing with?
It is not necessary to steer, as you term it. I have merely set this lever at the point marked Los Angeles, and in good time we will arrive at that destination.
But it's impossible to sail a straight course for that distance. We must surely run dangerously near islands and sunken reefs.
We will pass around them safely. The impulse deflectors will attend to that.
We'll go around these things like that, automatically?
To be sure.
Joan, you're sailing a submarine at over 40 miles an hour without being able to see where you're going?
I am constantly watching the seaway on our course, and all is clear for several miles in advance of this ship.
Where are you seeing all that?
In this reflector suspended before me. You may look over my shoulder if you wish.
Go ahead, Pat. Take a look.
Oh, I'd like to. Tex, you can see through the water almost as clearly as you could see on the surface.
Golly whiskers. You sure can.
Say, that's remarkable, Joan. How did they do it?
We utilize an electric ray of atomic principle. This ray is projected directly in advance of the submarine. Mineral salts are dissolved along the course of the beam from the ray, and the dissolving salts form a path of remarkable clarity through the water.
Well, that's nothing short of amazing.
And you'd never be bothered by fog.
Euclideans are not, as you say, bothered by fog under any conditions. This is only one of the many rays used under various conditions to control visibility.
Huh. And everybody thought I was crazy when I said we were going to visit a magic island.
There is no magic on Euclidia, Jerry.
Yeah, I know. Old G47 is always raving about everything on that island being nothing but scientific fact, which is all okay with me. But just the same, it's the kind of stuff that they call magic in my country.
I can understand how Jerry feels. When you see our world, Joan, and when you see how far we are behind Euclidia and all of our machines and inventions, you'll be able to understand why this seems like magic to us.
I will try to understand.
Do you realize that when this submarine plows into Los Angeles Harbor, that we'll be the most famous people in the world?
After this small cruise, Euclidean submarines have circled the globe without rising to the surface.
Oh, yeah? How do they carry enough fuel?
We have a great deal of space here that is not being utilized. It is possible to carry fuel for 50,000 miles.
Well, no matter what you think about this cruise, there's going to be a lot of excitement when we dock.
Tex, this boat is armed, isn't it?
My guess would be yes.
You bet, with a capital Y. They've got enough trick weapons on board this thing to capture more than Los Angeles.
Well, isn't that going to present something of a problem when we sail into the harbor? Entering a port with an armed vessel is something that takes a little preparation.
Well, I think we can square that, Pat. After all, the government must have an idea as to what we're up against.
But what can we do if they won't let us into the harbor?
It's not a question of getting into the harbor. We'd be in there before anybody could stop us. What I don't like is the idea that someone will spread the story all over the waterfront. We'll have our hair full of newspaper reporters and newsreel cameras before we can protect our secret.
You will not wish it known that a Euclidean submarine has brought you back to the United States?
Why, Tex?
A Euclidean must have agents in every country. They probably have instruments on the island strong enough to locate this submarine on the surface. They'd pick the news out of a dozen news broadcasts in an hour. I'd like to keep this quiet until I can get to the government agents. Take the proper steps to protect ourselves against the Euclideans, as well as to lay our plans about going back to take over that island.
But we'll have to come up somewhere, Tex. And if we don't come up in some harbor, well, we'll never reach land, and I don't see how it can be helped.
Can you offer anything, Joan?
That is a simple problem.
Maybe it is to you, but it looks plenty hard to me to pop up out in the ocean someplace, hide a submarine, and walk into the harbor.
Jerry may be sketching it rather broadly, Joan, but that's what we have to think about.
I will take care of that. When we reach a position within 5 miles of the harbor, we will submerge to the ocean floor. The submarine will remain there indefinitely, safely anchored, and we will proceed to the harbor with our life rings.
Sounds easy, but 5 miles is a long ways to swim. If we could get out of a submarine on the ocean floor and reach the surface alive.
Yeah, it's no sense to try to get from a sub to the surface.
With the equipment I will show you, it will be easy. Please have no fear of that. If we are allowed to reach the harbor, I promise you we will land without the submarine and without trouble.
Exploring tomorrow. And now here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, the editor of Astounding Science Fiction magazine, John Campbell Jr.
In the biblical story of the handwriting on the wall, everybody could see that handwriting. The king, Belshazzar, could see it clearly enough. Trouble was he couldn't tell what it meant. If you recall, he had to call in an interpreter. A lot of people can see handwriting on the wall. The argument is, what does it mean? The thing that makes reading that handwriting on the wall so difficult many times is that the message is one we don't want. We don't want to be able to read. Many times when a man's faced with a problem that he can't solve, he doesn't want to admit that it's an absolute limitation that cannot be broken. Then the grand old art of buck passing comes in. That's when you start saying, well, it isn't my fault. He won't let me. Let's consider a situation of that type.
My name is Lester McClellan, Secretary General of the United Nations. It was a busy day in the year 2180. The ambassador from a now independent colony on Venus was due to see me that morning. And there was a note on my desk requesting me to call Dr. Kingston, head of the UN Research Bureau, as soon as I had a chance. Kingston was working on a project vital to the future of mankind. I decided to call him. Bernie, I got your message. What goes?
Good news about the space drive project. There's been a substantial breakthrough. We've made a qualitative advance.
And what does that mean in plain English?
That we'll be finished with the groundwork in less than a year. Maybe even next month.
Have you prepared a news release on this thing?
Not yet, Lester. We're waiting for official approval first. Look, can you come down to the lab sometime today? I can give you a briefing on the new material. Fill you in.
I'll try, but I'm not promising. The ambassador from Venus is due any minute, and you know what a tough job I'm going to have with him.
Yeah, I understand. Well, mister, if you're free at all...
I'll call you back if I am.
Right. Good luck with the ambassador.
Thanks. Oh, he's coming now. I can't talk anymore.
Try to see me later, will you?
Bye, Bernie.
Secretary General McClellan? I'm David Rockwood, Art Secretary of Venus Central Council. How do you do?
Won't you be seated, Mr. Rockwood? Thank you. I'm happy to welcome you back to the planet of your ancestors. Is this your first visit to Earth?
It is.
I wish I could hope that you'll enjoy your stay here, but I can't do that, can I? Anyway, we're very happy that the Outworlds agreed to send an observer to the Earth. We have a major problem here, Mr. Rockwood. We think your worlds can help us. Of course, you're familiar with the text of the General Assembly resolution.
Of course. The three governments of the former Earth colonies of Mars, Venus, and Callisto have sent me as their representative. The space travel is not cheap, you know. We saw no need of 3 observers when one would do.
Yes. Yes, I see. I've arranged for you to have a brief guided tour of parts of the Earth to illustrate our population problem.
Oh, very well. We've agreed to reserve decision until we've seen Earth.
We can begin our tour now, if you like. And this is the Bureau of Population Statistics. You see that screen over there, Mr. Rockwood, the one with the red numbers on it? It's the up-to-date record on Earth's population. Every birth and death is automatically fed into the main computer channel as soon as it's known, and within an hour it's registered up there.
13,762,312,000. The last column doesn't stay still long enough for me to read it.
No, it doesn't. We average 500,000 new Earthmen a day, and the computer has to move fast to keep up. It's an average gain of 3 or 4 million people a week, 150 million a year. And the figure keeps rising.
What you need is a really efficient plane. Something to clear away 3 or 4 billion.
I don't find that very amusing, Mr. Rockwood. An interplanetary war would achieve the same thing. Shall we move on? Down there you see New York City. Population 15.5 million.
Incredible. One long stretch of buildings. Well, the largest city on Venus is only 200,000 people.
I can remember when we still had trees in New York. Not anymore. Wood is a luxury on Earth now.
And so is living space. Where do you expect to put the billions you're figuring on in coming years?
I wish I knew. We're converting Mars and Venus and Callisto into livable worlds, but the rest of the planets are impossible to convert. We need population relief in a hurry.
Meaning emigration to Venus, Mars, and Callisto?
Yes. If you'll permit us to send more settlers to the planets we built and colonized.
Oh, come now. Do you really think we owe you the right to send the overflow to us?
Let's finish the tour. We can discuss possible arrangements later.
You know, the handwriting doesn't have to be on a wall. Sometimes it can be on the face of a computer, as it was this time. But the handwriting was there. But now, what is the meaning of this handwriting? Does it mean the colonists should allow Earthmen to move out? Or does it maybe have some other meaning?
And this is Food Station 117, an artificial island in the Gulf of Mexico. Since we've hardly any open land on Earth for cultivation, we've turned to farming the sea. We developed some new foods. These are plankton steaks, synthesized from small sea creatures, microscopic crustaceans. And this bread comes from plankton flora. Taste it.
Oh, dear. Not very tasty stuff, is it?
No, it isn't. But half of Earth's population knows no other food. It's nutritious, and the supply is practically limitless. And we can't spare land for grazing animals. The only ones left are in the zoo. Care for another slice of steak?
No, thanks. No, thanks. This one will do very well. May I have something to drink, please, to wash away that taste?
heard you enjoyed a rush hour subway ride.
It was a nightmare.
I've given you as good a sample of Earth's life as is possible in a single day. You've seen much of North America, but it's worse elsewhere. Why, in Asia alone...
Please, Miss McLaren, no more statistics. You've made your point over and over again.
I'm sorry if I've tired you. But I wanted to show you the contrast between Earth and your own uncrowded planets. And now I appeal to you, Mr. Rockwood, in the name of the humanity that's common to all our worlds.
You want us to let you send overflow masses to us?
We built those colonies as a safety valve for overpopulation. And now that we need to use that valve, it's shut tight. Mr. Rockwood, I'm a reasonable man. I know we're asking something that amounts to an imposition, but I beg you.
I agree. Earth is terribly overcrowded. The population of Venus is about 700 million. Mars has about 1 billion. Callisto, 300 million. Now, these figures are close to the peak of optimum population. And since our death rates are low, thanks to medical advances, we have to keep a careful watch over birth rates to maintain normal population distribution.
I ask you to
Now, hear me out, please. We're deeply moved and sympathetic to your plight. We wish we could help you. We feel pity. The pity we would have for an idiot who, given a loaded gun, proceeds to blow his brains out.
What did you say?
I knew how overcrowded Earth was before I took your little tour. But we haven't grown overcrowded and won't. Why? Because we have small worlds, smaller than Earth. We can't allow ourselves to breed at Earth's rate. We see the inescapable need for certain self-restrictions.
You don't see the moral obligation to accept some of our excess people?
We see a moral obligation to refuse. To force you to see your real problem and its solution.
I am empowered by the General Assembly, Mr. Rockwood, to exert any means within my power to make you change your mind. And Earth, I'm afraid, has more armed vessels than your 3 worlds combined.
So you're threatening war?
Not war. Survival. You have country estates, rolling green fields, and we don't have an inch of free space.
So you'll fight to make us let you in? You're bigger fools than I thought. 14 billion of you crammed onto one world, and a mere 2 billion of us scattered over 3. Why, a war would ruin you. We'd bomb you in a shotgun spray and knock off 100,000 no matter where we struck. While you'd have to pry us out of nooks and crannies. We'd lose perhaps 100 million people, but you'd lose billions. I think we could risk it.
So you won't yield. You'd risk war even. You won't take colonists. When we colonize the stars, we shall do it differently.
The stars? Yes, you're counting on them as your last hope. But do you seriously think colonizing the stars can help your population problem? Oh, look, Mr. McClellan, even if you invented a workable star drive tomorrow, it would take 5 years before the first ships got off the ground. You're adding 500,000 a day. Now, how many people would these ships hold? 1,000 each? With 500,000 new births a day, you wouldn't be able to ship people to the stars fast enough to keep up. The math's against you, sir. You'd have to run as fast as you could just to stay where you are.
I suppose there's no further negotiation we can do, Mr. Rockwood. I'll arrange for your immediate return to your home planet.
But will you think about what I've said?
I'll think about it, yes. But we have 14 billion people on Earth.
Mr. McClellan, we're not anxious for war. But your threat doesn't scare us either. We'll fight to defend our way of life. And we'll win, sir. Good day, Mr. McClellan.
Human enough to want to pass his troubles along to another person. In this case, He wanted to make it that his troubles were because the colonists wouldn't let people emigrate. That wasn't the trouble. The trouble was emigration had become impossible. And that was the thing that he had to accept. And like the king in the biblical story, he didn't want that interpretation of the handwriting on the computer.
Sit down, Bernie. Tell me how this star drive of yours is coming.
I think we've got it licked, Lester. But you tell me, are the colonies going to open up?
No.
No. But they can't do that. They just can't clam up and refuse to take in Earthmen. Oh, Lester, we built those colonies. They don't have the right.
I want to talk about the star drive, Bernie. How close to finished is it?
Well, we haven't fully worked out the field equations yet. But with some fast computer work...
I'm not interested in equations. How long do you think it'll be before Earth has spaceships that can travel faster than the speed of light, fast enough to reach the stars?
I told you before, Lester. Maybe a month, maybe 2 months. Till the pilot model is finished, that is. No more than a year, certainly.
Now, you had some very interesting figures thrown at me today. Have you ever realized how many ships we'd need to send out before we can even make a dent in our population? Hundreds a day.
Well, even so, it would help some to get...
No, it wouldn't. Bernie, I want you to do me a favor. When you perfected your new star drive, hide it. Don't destroy it, because we'll need it someday, but sit on it. Put the schematics away until I give the word, and don't publish your findings.
Have you gone crazy, Lester?
No, I've suddenly gone stark, raving sane. Look, the new star drive is a dodge, a subterfuge. It's a substitute for the real answer to our problem, Bernie. Venus is not overcrowded. They're controlling population increase there.
What does all this have to do with my star drive? Why should I stop work on it?
Because it will crowd the issue. The people won't believe the figures. As long as there's what seems to be a way out, they'll cling to it. If you suppress the star drive, there'll be no way out at all. And Earth either cracks wide open or it grows up. There's no middle course.
And you're suggesting that I deliberately destroy my life's work?
Just for a while. Sure, it's a great thing to explore the stars, but first we need to control ourselves. If the world learns that there's a star drive, they'll think it's a way out. It isn't, but we'll never convince them of it. First, we set up our population control programs, make them see the need for them, get them into operation, and then reveal the existence of the drive. We may have to wait a generation.
No, I absolutely refuse. You can't meddle with science this way, Lester. Research must continue. If you interfere with me this way, well, I'll have no choice but to resign.
Your resignation is accepted, Bernie. Effective immediately.
What? But I only meant that
I'm sorry, Bernie. So you're actually fine, if you want to call it that. You don't want to understand how disastrous it would be to continue work on the star drive, okay. Your successor will be a man who will understand such things. Maybe he won't be as gifted as you are, Bernie, but that's all right. The stars can wait.
Lester, you can't fire me like this. So cold-bloodedly, so ruthlessly. We've been friends for years.
You think I don't know that. But all along, I've been soft-hearted, been making concessions, taking the easy way out. We farmed the seas. We colonized 3 worlds. We cleared away half the Antarctic ice pack to make new land. All big, important things, but all dodging the real issue. Now I'm back against the wall. The whole world is. I can't be soft-hearted anymore.
Lester, this doesn't sound like you.
I know. You think I like the spot I'm in now? But a new order has to come about. An order which demands strength, tough-mindedness, courage. It's either that or a situation I don't want to think about. I can't let anything stand in the way now.
Do I have time to clear out my office?
You can have until tomorrow. And remember that you're still bound by security regulations in case you plan to scream to the news sheet.
I'll remember it. So long, Lester. Good luck.
Thanks. and probably going to need us.
Limitations even to what science can accomplish, the highest technology, the fundamental physical limitation of the amount of matter there is in the universe. Old Malthus was right. With a higher technology, you can push the limit out a little further, but not beyond the limits of the universe. They're fundamental. It comes necessary, sooner or later, to go in for quality instead of quantity. Not for numbers, but for fineness. Not for bigger, but for better. That's the direction we've got to go.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman, who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. In an effort to remove Clark Kent and Lois Lane as obstacles in the path of espionage, Nita, mysterious leader of an Oriental spy ring called the Society of the Leopard, and herself known as the Leopard Woman, sent Lois a box of poisoned candy in Kent's name. By a queer twist of fate, young Jimmy Olsen was the only one who ate any of the candy. Stricken almost at once, he was rushed to the hospital near death. There, Kent learned nothing could be done for him. The one physician who knew something about the Oriental poison in the candy and might be able to help was on the high seas coming from Singapore to the United States in the passenger ship Queen of the Sea. Though his chances of locating the tiny ship in all the vastness of the Pacific were slim, Kent, as Superman, called on his amazing power of flight in a race against death. Meanwhile, aboard the Queen of the Sea, the passengers and crew are facing almost certain destruction at the hands of an enemy submarine showing its periscope off the port bow. At the rail, the captain and his first officer peer into the darkness, waiting.
The men are standing by the boat, sir. I seem to have lost the scope, all right. Do you see it? Yes, sir. It's amidships now. 500 yards off. Her conning tower's breaking water. Yes, I see it. She won't fire without warning, will she? There's no telling what those yellow devils will do. I've been half expecting this all along. Now that it's come, I'm not too taken aback. You say your men are ready to lower away? Yes, sir. How are the passengers behaving? Quite well. We have them at the starboard station. Captain, look! A torpedo! She's fired! Full speed astern. Yes, sir. Bear away, Holly. Yes, sir. I think she'll miss us. A little more. Yes, sir. A little more. Yes, sir. Yes, she did. Thank heaven. It doesn't mean much. We can't outmaneuver them forever. Sooner or later, they're... What's that wind, Holly? I don't know, sir. Something fell into the water. We're being bombed. Get all passengers below decks. Batten all hatches. Move fast, man.
I'm afraid I sounded like a bomb diving into the water. Too bad I had to fight them, but this is the best way to stop those torpedoes before they reach their target. All right, I'm ready if you are. Let them come. Almost as though they heard me. Here comes a silverfish right at me. I don't have to move an inch. That's what I call service. Oh, boy. This is as far as you go. The end of the line. Now, just tuck you under my left arm and wait for your twin brother. He should be coming along any moment now. Yes, there he is. Over to the left. Now, you just swim over to meet him. There. About right.
Go on, keep coming, sonny boy, but get ready to stop fast. Almost slipped away from me. Yeah, that was close. Now to return both of you to that sub with my compliments. Up, up, and away!
Leaping into the air with a shining torpedo under each arm, Superman circles in strange flight above the enemy submarine. Suddenly, his arms open wide, and the deadly steel cylinders hurtle down through the darkness, striking the conning tower side by side. Like a thing alive, the submarine leaps out of the water, buckles and splits in two as the deafening thunder of its explosion shatters the night. And seconds later, aboard the Queen of the Sea, Superman, half hidden in the shadows of the deck house, reaches out and grasps the arm of an elderly gentleman.
Dr. Richards?
Yes?
There isn't much time, Doctor. I've got to talk fast. A young boy is dying in the city hospital at Metropolis. You are the only one who can save him. Every second counts.
Are you out of your mind? Metropolis is 5,000 miles from here.
Distance means nothing. Just promise me one thing, that you'll never reveal how you got there.
I promise,
That's
but...
all I need. I'm going to carry you in my arms.
What?
I know it may seem strange at first, but don't worry. Here we go. Up, up, and away!
Dr. Laurel wanted in surgery. Dr. Laurel wanted in surgery. Dr. Laurel wanted in surgery.
Richards has been in there with Jimmy for 2 hours, Kent. I'm getting worried. You sure he's the right man?
Positive, Mr. White.
Well, where did you find him? Kingsley said he was on a boat somewhere in the Pacific Ocean.
Well, Dr. Kingsley was wrong. Dr. Richards had flown back on the Clipper. He was right here in Metropolis. I remembered having seen his name in the paper a day or two ago.
Kent, sometimes you amaze me. I almost think you have strange powers.
Oh, wait. Here comes Dr. Richards now. He looks tired.
I'm praying, Kent. You've got a pretty sick little boy there, gentlemen. You mean? Yes. He'll live.
Oh, dear. I don't know how to thank you, Doctor.
He'll be on his back for at least a month, and he must be watched carefully.
Anything you say, Doctor. Day nurses, night nurses, anything. The sky's the limit.
Dr. Kingsley is in there now, finishing up. I'll give him all instructions.
Just you send your bill to me, Perry White, at the Daily Planet, and make it high. I'll be happy to pay it.
And now, if you'll excuse me, I'll wash up.
Certainly, and thanks again, Dr. Richards.
You're quite welcome.
And if there's ever anything that you want, just name it and it's yours.
I'll remember that. Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, Doctor. Kent, I'm shaking like a leaf. Every nerve in my body is quivering.
Oh, you've had a long, anxious siege of it.
Here, look at my fingers. Like a man of 80. Phew, what a night.
Well, it's all over. But now there's something I want to tell you. We can't afford to let that poison candy incident stop where it did. We've got to follow through. Whoever sent that box probably figured it would get Lois, you, and myself. Not to mention a dozen others on the staff. Now, that means we'll have to play the game their way.
What are you driving at?
We've got to let them believe the poison candy works. I'll tell you how we'll do that on the way back to the office.
Dr. Sloan, report to emergency ward. Dr. Sloan, report to emergency ward. Dr. Sloan, report to emergency ward.
The following morning, in the secret meeting room of the Society of the Leopard, Max Heller and the mysterious leader of the Oriental spy ring, known to her cohort as Nita, the leopard woman, scan the papers.
Well, there's no doubt about it now. Neither Herr Kent nor Fraulein Lane will bother us again. Your candidate attack has nothing else good.
It is written here that 7 died. Who were the others?
That's Kent's paper, the Daily Planet. Your delectable confections evidently appeal to 5 other reporters.
You see how simple it is, my friend. No blood, no excitement. Swiftly and surely, with the quiet cunning of the leopard. And if there are more who obstruct our path, they too will go. But enough of this. There is work to be done. This airship of yours, that with the folding wings, it is well hidden, you say.
In an underground hangar not far from the city.
Yes, I remember. It will be difficult to remove and of little use to us. But we must see that it does not fall into enemy hands. Tonight, after dark, you will go there and destroy it. I will accompany you.
Must it be destroyed? It's the only plane of its kind in this country.
All the more reason for destruction. By this time you should know that one of the rules of war is to destroy that which you cannot possess.
I suppose you're right. Incidentally, I marvel, Nita, at how much you know. Yet how widespread are your activities?
And the leopard stalks far and wide, my friend. From one ocean to the other, there are faithful servants. The 12 you saw meeting in this room were but the leaders. There are many more, like grains of rice pouring out of a bag. When the time comes, they will strike from all sides.
When is the time?
Very soon. Already the underwater ships of the country I serve are gathering off the shore. When the signal is given, the claws of the leopard will tear from within, while the mighty guns thunder from without. There can be no failure.
And what if you are caught?
The machinery has been well set up. It requires only someone to press the button to set it in motion. If I am unable to, that privilege will be yours. I will send for the plans and show you exactly what is to be done.
Later that afternoon, at the offices of the Daily Planet, Kent and Perry White are discussing the box of poisoned candy when the phone rings.
Perry White's office. Just a minute. To you, Kent.
Oh.
Major Campbell.
Thanks. Hello, Major. I'm quite well, thanks. Yes? Let's see. Oh, there's no question about it in my mind. Just let me jot that down, will you? Yes, I've got it. Yes, I will. Uh-huh. Okay, goodbye. Well, Campbell has some interesting information. That box of candy was made in Japan, and whoever sent it evidently has a supply on hand. Campbell says the espionage department knows of no organized Oriental spy ring in America. They've been checking on reports that a woman runs an organization known as the Leopard Society, but they haven't been able to locate it.
That doesn't tell us who sent the candy.
No, but it might give us the lead. I'm certain Heller is mixed up in that attempted poisoning.
You're still convinced he's alive?
Absolutely. Wait a minute. I just thought of something. A woman claimed Heller's body at the morgue. And Campbell said a woman runs the Leopard Society. I wonder whether it's the same woman.
That's like asking how high is up.
No, not quite. I'm going to take a run up to that factory where we rounded up Heller's gang. I may dig something up.
Hold on. Now, you're supposed to be dead. Poisoned. You can't go traipsing around.
Well, I'll leave after dark.
Personally, I think you're wasting time.
Can't tell. I may run into something interesting.
Little does Clark Kent know that he may run into something slightly more than interesting. Max Heller and two of the Leopard Woman's Oriental henchmen will be at the factory after dark. Something is bound to happen when Clark Kent meets them. To the outside world, both men are supposed to be dead. Will there be a meeting of living ghosts? Don't miss the next thrilling episode. Tune in and listen. We're the Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from the planet Krypton, who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. Superman who can leap tall buildings at a single bound, race a speeding bullet to its target, bend steel in his bare hands, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth and justice. But before we join Superman, listen.
And now to our story. As you remember, young Jimmy Olsen was near death from having eaten a piece of poisoned candy. But Kent, as Superman, flew out over the Pacific Ocean and brought back the one doctor who knew enough about the nature of the Oriental poison in the candy to save Jimmy's life. With that done, Kent set about to discover who was responsible for sending the candy to Lois Lane. Obviously, it was intended not for Jimmy, but for Lois and himself. Suspecting that Max Heller, the foreign espionage agent, is still alive and had something to do with the deadly gift, Kent decides to let him think he has accomplished his purpose. And a story to the effect that Clark Kent and Lois Lane met death appears in the Daily Planet. But unknown to Kent, the poison candy was sent by the strange, mysterious leader of an Oriental spy ring known as the Leopard Woman. Heller, who is alive, has associated himself with the Leopard Woman and her olive-skinned henchmen. As our story continues today, Kent has decided to visit the abandoned factory where Max Heller and his gang were first rounded up in the hope of finding a clue to the mystery. Perry White, editor of the Daily Planet, has insisted on accompanying him. Darkness has fallen as Kent, at the wheel, leaves the lights of the city behind.
What do you expect to find at this deserted factory, Kent?
Well, there's no telling. I meant to get back there the day after we rounded up Heller's gang of agents, but that box of poison candy messed things up.
Oh, for heaven's sake, don't mention poison candy to me. I tell you, those few hours waiting around the hospital last night took 10 years off my life. And why? Why? Because Jimmy Olsen couldn't resist popping a piece of candy into his mouth.
Well, you're not being quite fair, Mr. White. After all, it's no crime to take a piece of candy when it's offered you. The box wasn't sent to Jimmy, it was sent to Lois. You might have eaten some of it. I might have. We're just lucky, that's all. But that part of it's done and past. Jimmy will be a pretty sick kid for a few weeks, but he'll pull through.
Kent, I'd give $5,000 to get my hands around the neck of whoever sent that candy. $5,000 in cash. I've never wanted to commit murder before. It'll be a pleasure in this case. Major Campbell said the candy was made in Japan, didn't he?
The candy or the box, or both.
It's a typical yellow trick. No white man would stoop that low. My blood boils when I think of it.
Don't you worry. Whoever's responsible will pay with interest. I'm supposed to be dead, but when I meet up with the sender of that candy, I'll be a pretty live ghost. You can count on it. What does that signpost say? Wait, I'll slow down.
Twin Forks, 6 miles.
Uh-huh. Now, this is the road, all right. We'll be there in 20 minutes.
Meanwhile, at the abandoned factory 6 miles away, Max Heller and his new companion in crime, the mysterious leopard woman, have descended to the basement and are moving slowly along a pitch-black corridor, guided by the beam of light from an electric torch in Heller's hand. Their destination is the underground hangar where Heller has stored his ingenious folding-wing plane. As they reach the end of the corridor, they stop, and Heller opens a heavy wooden trap in the floor.
I had better go down first. The ladder is not very strong.
Is it necessary for me to go with you? All we wish to do is to destroy the plane so that it will be of no use to anyone.
I want you to see it first. Perhaps you might change your mind about destroying it. There's nothing like it in this country.
I have told you many times, my friend, nothing is of value unless you have use for it. But we waste precious time. I will follow you.
Very well. Be careful coming down this ladder. Have you enough light?
Yes.
Easy, one step at a time. There, that's fine.
Where is the plane?
One moment. I'll turn on a light.
Wait. A light will be seen.
No, this hangar is completely sealed. It's built of concrete. There we are.
Is that strange object a plane?
Yes, ready to take off. You see how the wings fold back against the fuselage, like those of a bird pressed against its body.
What is that machinery behind it?
That is the catapulting mechanism necessary to shoot the plane into the air. It works on the same principle used in a rocket, except that the energy required to send the plane up is compressed air rather than gunpowder. If I were to open this valve, that energy would build up, and in less than 30 seconds, there would be sufficient pressure to send the plane hurtling into the heavens.
But you say this place is sealed.
Those iron doors at the far end swing back. We would have entered the hangars that way, except that they are bolted from the inside.
It's all quite amazing. These planes, they are being used in the war?
Experimentally. Soon the sky will be black with them. They can be launched from the deck of a ship, from a railroad car, from almost any place. Now, do you wish to see it destroyed?
There is no other way. The loss is as nothing compared to having it come into the hands of our enemies. Can it be burned so that no trace of it will exist? Nothing that can be copied?
Yes, I suppose so.
Then let us proceed with it at once. I do not like being caught in underground passages. It makes me uneasy.
There's no danger of being caught down here. Only 3 people in the world know of the existence of...
Wait! I hear voices.
Voices?
Listen.
How in heaven's name do you expect to find anything down here, Kent? Like a V8 space. We have a flashlight. Flashlight? What good is it? It's time to take a punch with a toothpick. One of the rooms along this corridor was occupied by employees. You'll find something there.
Who is it?
I don't know. But they're right above us.
One of them spoke your name.
I heard it. And something else, too.
What?
One was addressed as Kent.
Thomas, you're mistaken. The voices were muffled.
I heard it clearly.
Don't be a fool. Kent is dead.
Yes. Of course he is dead. Of course.
You think perhaps it may be his ghost.
Why do you suggest anything like that?
Shall I tell you why? Because you are quaking with fear. Because your teeth are chattering as though in a dry, empty skull.
No, that's not true.
Quiet, you fool. Listen to me. Open the iron door.
That's right. We'll use the plane to escape.
Quickly. Do as I say.
Yes. They're open. They're open all the way. Now, I'll start building air pressure.
Wait. This plane operates like all others?
Yes. When the rings open, the motors start automatically. A child will fly it. Shall I open the valve?
Open.
It takes 30 seconds to build up.
So you said. Now, open the door of the plane.
Hurry. There's not much time.
There is time enough for me.
That is the pilot seat. Take the one behind.
I will be piloting the plane. I am in the proper place.
What do you mean?
I am leaving you behind, Heller. You are a coward, and I have no use for cowardice.
No. You are joking with me.
It is no joke. Stand back and close the door. This little pearl-handled revolver I am pointing at you is no toy.
No. Let me in.
Stand back, I said.
No. No. No.
Kent, what was that?
Sounded like a shot. Thought I heard a man scream. Wait a minute, listen.
Someone's moaning.
Throw the light on the floor. It's coming from below us.
Right. I think it is.
Look, there's the trap door. Keep the light down. I'll open it.
Right. Why, it's an underground room. All lit up. Well, who's moaning?
A man on the floor. Wait, I'll go down first. Watch this ladder, Mr. White. It's shaky.
Right.
Be careful. The bottom rung's broken.
I'm all right.
Easy now. Step down. Hey.
Who's the man, Kent?
I don't know. I'll have to turn him over. Great Scott. It's Max Heller.
Are you sure?
No question about it. He's been shot in the chest.
Leopard. What? Leopard. He's trying to say something.
Leopard. Sounds like a leopard.
Hadn't we better get him to a doctor, Kent?
I'm afraid it's too late. His pulse is weak. It can't last much longer.
Woman. Leopard. He's talking again.
Leopard woman. Major Campbell mentioned a female spy known as the Leopard Woman. Wait, let's sit him up. Let me help him. Throw me against the wall. Easy. Wait a minute. Careful. There we are.
His lips are getting pale.
Yes, he's in bad shape. Heller. Heller.
Look, Kent. His eyes are opening. He's conscious.
Heller, listen to me. No. Look, that poison. Who shot you, Heller?
Go away. Go away.
Not until you tell me who shot you. You've got to tell me. Heller, you've got to. Heller.
He's dead.
No. In a coma. I think we'll be able to get him to a hospital, Mr. White. We'll make an attempt anyway. There may be just a slim chance of keeping him alive, and if we can, we'll have the key to the mystery. You get the car started. I'll carry him. You don't have to climb the ladder. Go out that way. Hurry, will you?
Are you sure you can handle him alone?
Yes, he's light.
Okay.
Be careful. I have a tough time explaining this to Mr. White, but the car's too slow. I can get him to the hospital much faster.
As Superman. And every second counts. Up with him.
There. Mr. White can't see me from where I parked the car. Fortunately, the night is pitch black.
Up! Up! And away! Knowing full well that the chances of keeping Heller alive for 1,000,000 to 1, Superman nonetheless streaks toward Metropolis with the unconscious man in his arms, once again battling death with all the amazing abilities at his disposal. If Max Heller lives, the desire for vengeance alone will force him to expose the Leopard Woman and her yellow-skinned henchmen. What will happen? Don't forget to be with us again for the next episode in this thrill-packed story. Tune in and listen with the Superman.
Don't forget, tune in again for the next thrilling episode with Superman.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Kellogg's Pep, a build-up wheat cereal that invites you to rocket into the future with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0!
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. From every corner of Space Academy, spilling out of dormitories, tumbling from jet cars, jumping from slidewalks, hundreds of cadets race across the grassy quadrangle and crowd into the administration building to hear the results of rigid midterm examinations. As the voice of the officer of the day crackles harshly over the loudspeaker, Tom Corbett and Roger Manning wait anxiously with the other cadets. Breathing a prayer, their names will be among those who pass, for failure means dismissal from Space Academy.
Casey, Serrano, Cooper, Copeland, Corbett.
Congratulations, Tom. You made it.
Thanks, Roger. I'd rather take acceleration from maximum rocket drive than sweat out that list.
Same here. Only one thing I'm worried about.
What's that?
That last power drive problem. I don't think I answered it the right way.
Hey, hold it, Roger. It's getting to the end.
Larkin, Macchio, Mallard, Mayfield, McCleary, Muller.
Hey, Roger, she didn't call your name. That's it, Space Boy. I failed.
Oh, no, there must be some mistake, Roger.
No mistake. You know as well as I do. You're either on that list or you're not. I'm getting out of this uniform before I'm arrested for impersonating a space cadet.
And permission is hereby granted to Jonas Brady and Andrew Peters for exploration of secondary satellites of Jupiter's moons. Object of exploration, uranium pitchblende deposits. Permit for the above, LC 98452, dated 1 April 2352. Signed, Stephen Strong, Captain, Solar Guard. All right, I think that'll cover you, Brady. I'll put the Solar Guard seal on it now.
Say, I don't suppose you could tell Peters and me where we could find a good astrogator.
I'm afraid not, Brady. Shouldn't be too hard to get one, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Strong. I didn't know you were busy.
Well, that's all right, Corbett. Come in. We finished our business. What is it?
Well, it's Roger, sir.
Again? Well, what happened this time?
He failed to pass midterm exams, sir.
Failed? Well, that's impossible. He can astrogate as well as I can.
Roger thinks it was the power deck problem he missed, and I was wondering if you could do something.
You know Academy rules as well as I do, Corbett. If Manning's failed, he'll be dismissed from the Academy. Nothing can be done about it.
Excuse me, Captain.
Oh, yes, Brady.
I just wanted to thank you again for your help. We'd like to blast off as soon as we can.
Oh, of course. Here's your permit. And spaceman's luck.
Thanks. We'll need it. Come on, Peters.
Right, Jonas. So long, Captain.
Goodbye. Now, Corbett, let's get to the whole story. If Manning's positive he failed his
Well, looks like we're set, Jonas.
Yeah. And did you hear about the kid getting kicked out of the academy?
I'm way ahead of you, Jonas. The best astrographer in the joint. He said kicked out. And we need an astrogator.
Strong said the kid's name was Manning.
What are we waiting for? Let's find a kid named Manning.
Captain Strong here.
Captain, this is Tom Corbett.
Oh, I was just going to call you, Tom. I checked the results of the midterm exams, and there was good reason for Manning not being on the regular list. He didn't wait for the honor list to be announced.
Honor list?
That's right. I don't know how he did it, but he posted the third highest average in the academy.
Oh, great. That's
just fine.
Well, you don't sound very happy about it.
I'm not, sir. Roger's gone.
What?
I just got back to the dormitory. Found these lockers empty, all these clothes gone.
Why, that hot-headed young idiot.
I called the main gate and he was checked out 15 minutes ago. He took a jet cab to the city.
Well, you better jet right after him, Tom. Find him and bring him back, or he'll be in trouble.
But, sir, it really isn't his fault. He didn't know.
He shouldn't have gone off half-cocked like that. Now, if he isn't here by bed check tonight, he'll be court-martialed for being absent without leave. And then he really will be an ex-cadet.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by. Fellas and girls, listen to this exciting announcement. Starting now, right now, you'll find exciting cutouts on the back of each and every regular package of Kellogg's Pep. And what are these cutouts? Well, they're real, true-to-life photograph cutouts of all your favorite Space Cadets. Here's your chance to get a complete collection of Space Cadet pictures. There's a cutout of Dr. Dale, one of Tom Corbett, Astro, and Roger Manning, too. Here's Tom Corbett to tell you all about it.
That's the truth, Spaceman. Right now at your grocery store, there's a package of Kellogg's Pep just waiting for you. And on the back, you'll find a photograph cutout of one of your favorite Space Cadets. Cut them out and pin them on your wall. Or you can paste them on your school book. And if you haven't got a full set, you can trade your extras for the ones you haven't got. It's a swell collection. So start getting your photograph cutouts of the Space Cadets right now.
That's right, Spaceman. And remember, there's another exciting Space Cadet photograph cutout on the back of each and every regular-sized Kellogg's Pep package. So don't delay. Ask your mom to get the build-up wheat cereal. Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep. Believing he has failed the rigid midterm examinations, Cadet Roger Manning has left Space Academy and taken a job as astrogator with Jonas Brady and Andrew Peters, two space prospectors searching for vital uranium pitch blends. But back at Space Academy, Cadet Tom Corbett has decided to ask for an emergency leave to go in search of his friend Roger Manning.
All right, Corbett, I'll give you the leave, but I don't think it'll do any good to look for Manning. By now, he could be any place. Mars, Venus, right here on Earth.
I'll find him, Captain Strong. I'm sure Roger would do the same for me.
Yes, I guess he would. All right. Here you are, 5-day emergency pass.
Attention, emergency alert. By order of Commander Hartright, all leaves are canceled and all cadet units and instructors are to report to the main assembly hall on the double.
All right, cadets, stand to. Commander Hartright has placed me in command of this emergency, and I want your undivided attention. All of you are acquainted with the vital work of the Solar Alliance in mining uranium pitchblende on Pluto. Now, without N72C, the mining operations on Pluto would stop, and our supply of raw uranium pitchblende would be cut to a dangerously low level. We've just received a report from our refineries on Mars that every ounce of N720, a new chemical explosive, has been stolen, and it will take 2 years to replace it. Who stole it and how it was stolen is the work of the Security Division. Our job is to get it all back before it is broken down into small lots and sold on the black market. Now, Commander Arkwright has ordered every available ship into space. Each of you will be given a sector to patrol. Your orders are simple. Stop every ship in your sector and search it. Your objective, 217 boxes of N72C. Any questions? Very well, then blast off according to emergency plan. And spaceman's luck.
Oh, Corbett.
Yes, Captain Strong.
You'll come with me aboard the rocket destroyer Galileo. We'll patrol sectors 6, 7, and 8 in the orbit of Jupiter.
Right, sir. But is the situation really that bad?
Corbett, if we don't find that explosive, our production of uranium will be so low, half of all the spaceships now in flight will have to be grounded.
Destroyer Squadron 9 will patrol Earth-Lunar space lanes, and Cruiser Group J will search the asteroid belt. Further assignments to follow. All ships are to be intercepted and searched for the missing N72C. Maintain standby watch of this frequency for orders from Central Spaceport Control. In transmission.
Boy, those poor jokers are really fusing their tubes about that stuff. Sure must be valuable. Well, none of my concern anymore.
That's you, Jonas? Jonas, ain't you?
No, it's Manning.
Huh? What are you doing here, kid?
Looking for you. Brady wants you.
All right, so you found me. Now beat it.
After I take a look at what's in that box.
No, stay away from there.
Why? I'm a partner, aren't I? I've got a right to see the supplies we're carrying. Say, wait a minute. Supplies, huh? This is N72C.
So what? We're prospectors, ain't we? We need explosives.
200 cases, pal? Cases that were stolen?
What do you mean, stolen?
Don't pull that innocent act on me. I just picked up a solar guard alert. They're looking for this stuff right now.
They'll never find it, kid.
Brady.
I figured you were the type to get nosy, so I just put the ship on automatic pilot and came down to make sure Peters kept you out of here.
I couldn't keep him out, Jonas. He barged right in.
Shut up, Peters. You couldn't stop a space rat. Huh? I ought to beat your head off for letting him see this.
No, that's no way to talk to a
Shut
partner.
up, I said. All right, kid. So we got a full cargo of N720. What about it?
I'm resigning from this partnership right now.
I got news for you, space boy. You're not back in Space Academy playing one of your little games now. The only way to resign from this outfit is to take a walk out in space without a spacesuit.
We're closing in on the outer moons of Jupiter now, sir. You can see them on the radar scanner.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I hate to think what a time we'll have if they reach those planetoids without us knowing it.
Hey, look, sir. A spaceship heading right into the thickest part of Jupiter's space junk.
Yes. And from the looks of her on the radar scanner, she's an old Venusian colonizer. All right, Tom. Stand by to intercept. Maybe this time we'll be lucky.
Well, Hotshot, that destroyer's closing in.
Space Raider from Rocket Cruiser Galileo. This is Captain Strong of the Solar Guard.
Captain Strong.
Gate 2 and stand by for boarding party.
Well, Brady, what are you going to do now?
Peters, keep him covered.
What are you going to do?
Never mind. Keep him covered, I said.
All right, Jonas. All right.
Hello, Rocket Destroyer Galileo from Space Raider Jenny Alden. This is Jonas Brady speaking. Go ahead.
Gate 2, Brady. We're coming aboard.
Coming aboard? Why? Anything wrong?
We just want to check your cargo. If everything's all right, you'll be cleared to go on.
I see. Well, I tell you, Captain, our main airlock mechanism...
He's lying, Captain Strong. There's nothing wrong with the airlock.
What was that, Brady?
Why, that was just my astrogator telling me something. By the way, I think you know him, Captain. He used to be a cadet, fellow by the name of Manning.
Manning? What lasers is he doing on your ship?
Oh, he signed on just before we blasted off. He likes the idea of prospecting with us. Figures in making a pile of money.
He does he? Well, let me talk to him.
Oh, wait a minute. Hey, Manning, come here.
Jonas, are you space happy?
Shut up. I know what I'm doing. Why, I'm sorry, Captain. He says he don't want to talk to you.
Well, listen, Brady. I want to search your ship. If we can't couple our airlocks together, we'll just have to board you in space.
No, don't do that, Captain. I tell you what, we ain't far from Jupiter. Now, suppose I touch down and you trail me in. Make it a lot easier. You can board me on the ground through the emergency power deck hatch.
All right. Get going, then. Change course.
Right away, Captain. You just follow me down and I'll wait for you. And transmission. That was easier than I thought.
Jonas, you must have been drinking rocket juice. You're taking us right into a trap.
I don't know why I got hooked up with a whining fool like you, Peters. I got Strong doing exactly what I want.
Oh, you have, huh? Well, as soon as he comes aboard, he'll find all them boxes of N72C, and that's what he wants.
Of course not. Now, you get to work right now and start loading the jet boat.
The jet boat? But...
No questions, Peters. Move.
Wait a minute. What about this kid? You talk.
Oh, no, you won't. After you're through loading the explosives, break out 2 spacesuits. Just 2. When Captain Strong comes aboard the Jenny Alden, he's going to find 1 empty spaceship and 1 dead body.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Well, that's the story down at the Space Academy commissary. The calls are coming in from every space station in the solar system. More Kellogg's Pep. More Kellogg's Pep. Well, you spacemen know why, too. Every time you help yourself to that swell whole wheat and malt flavor, well, you can tell right off why Kellogg's Pep is making such a big hit with spacemen. And say, Kellogg's Pep helps the solar guardsman keep in trim by supplying him with vitamin D, vitamin B1, and many other essential food values to help him stay on the job. So give yourself the same energy blast off every morning with Kellogg's Pep. And remember, to get your pep, well, you don't have to call the Space Academy commissary. The corner grocery store is your commissary for the Spaceman cereal Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Tricking Captain Strong into landing on Jupiter, Jonas Brady has begun a desperate plan to save his stolen cargo of valuable explosive and get rid of Roger Manning. Now on the deserted wastes of Jupiter, where the gravity is 2.5 times that of Earth, Tom Corbett and Captain Strong leave the rocket prospector Galileo and in spacesuits and helmets struggle toward the Jenny Alden, partially hidden by a huge rock formation. A walk that will bring them face to face with death.
I'll never get used to Jupiter, Captain Strong. I don't know which is worse, the double gravity or all the quakes.
I know, Tom. This double gravity makes it feel like you're carrying 400 pounds on your back. Be careful and don't fall. You'll never pick yourself up.
Why did Brady land in that valley? He must have known we couldn't come in alongside.
Yeah, this whole setup is pretty fishy. I can't understand why Roger didn't want to talk to us. If he ever talked his way out of anything, it had better be now.
All set, Jonas. The N-72C is loaded in the jet boat, and I've got the 2 spacesuits.
Okay, Peters. I just saw Strong leave the destroyer with another guy and head this way.
I'm getting nervous, Jonas. What if they catch us?
You know something, Peters? I think you're a yeller. Our little space cadet has got more guts than you.
You got no right to talk to me that way. Hey, Jonas, it's an earthquake. Hang on.
Just what I was hoping for.
What?
I spent 2 years prospecting this crummy planet right around here. Every 5 or 6 hours there's a quake. That ought to hold Captain Strong for a while. Now, get Manning out here in the jet boat lock. We're ready to move.
Wait a minute, Jonas. I've been thinking. Stealing is one thing. If you're caught, you get time on the prison asteroid. But killing, that's something else again.
Hey, wait a minute. What is this?
I don't like it. I don't want no part of it.
Why, you crummy little space rat.
Well, let's just blast off in the jet boat and leave the kid here. Won't do us no real good to kill him.
I'm giving the orders around here, and I say get the kid.
But, Jonas...
Get him right now.
All right. All right, Jonas. You win.
You bet I win, you little space crawler. Try to chicken out on me, will you?
All right, Manny. Come on out. You guys sure picked yourself a nice graveyard to land in. You're using the right word, kid. Move. Well, Brady, where do you expect to go from here?
A long way, kid. Peters, you have his power all right?
Yeah, sure.
Hand it over.
Okay. What do you think you're going to do now?
Kind of impatient, ain't you?
Come on, Jonas. Let's get this over with.
Sure, Peters, if you're glad to. All right, Manning, stand over there next to them spacesuits.
Hey, now, listen, wait a minute.
Watch, kids. Watch.
Captain Strong, the quake's getting worse. Got to get to the Jenny Alden.
Just another 100 yards, Corbett. We can make it.
Captain, look. A jet boat. It just blasted out of the freighter.
Blast them. They pulled a fast one on us. Hurry, Corbett. And pray they've left Roger alive. Captain Strong to Rocket Destroyer Squadron B, cover sectors 7, 8, and 9, Jupiter orbit. Intercept jet boat believed to be carrying stolen explosives. That is all.
Captain Strong! Captain, come here, quick!
Yes, Corbett, where are you?
Down here, sir, in the jet boat airlock.
What is it?
There, sir. Look.
By the rings of Saturn. Peters?
Yes, sir. Blasted by a parallel ray and left in the open airlock. He didn't have a chance. And look here, sir. These small chips that look like putty.
Well, that's M72C. That nails it. They did steal the explosive and escaped with it in the jet boat.
But where's Roger, sir?
That's what I'd like to know. I'd be interested in finding out how he's tied up with this operation.
But, sir, you don't think...
Wait a minute. Look at this.
A parallel ray. And it's Academy issue.
Not only that. Look at the name on the grip.
Roger.
There's been one shot fired. Probably the one that got Peters.
Well, then that explains it. Roger was trying to fight them.
He was? Well, then why isn't he here now? No, Tom, it looks to me like poor Peters was the victim of a double cross.
What?
And with the way Roger felt about the Academy, and the fact that he isn't here now, and the fact that he sailed on a ship with stolen cargo...
Oh, he wouldn't. He couldn't do a thing like that.
I'm just pointing out. When we find Roger, I certainly hope he can prove I'm wrong.
He must be able to prove it, sir. And if I have to go clear out to the next galaxy, I'll find him and make him prove it. So help me, I will.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, when Tom and Captain Strong become space rats to follow a trail that leads them from the moons of Jupiter to the underworld of Venus in Part 2 of Double Cross in Space. Tune in, same time, same station on Thursday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet. Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the Build-Up Wheat Cereal. Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in today's cast are Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, Paul Ford, and Ian Martin. Today's program was written by Richard Jessup, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a...
Want to get away from it all? We offer you escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure. You're in the heart of a Philippine jungle, searching out an Igorot village whose people are practiced in savagery and headhunting, while your civilized companion is coldly making his plan to see that the first head taken will be your own. Listen now as Escape brings you Kathleen Height's exciting story, A Good Thing. This time, Matthew found me in a filthy flea bag of a hotel room in Manila. Before that, it had been Shanghai, Rangoon, Cape Town. Name your port of call.
Come on, boy. I'm around. Come on. Come on, Dan. Dan. Come on, snap to. You really tied one on this time, didn't you? Well, we've done it before. Here, boy. Catch. Easy, boy. Easy.
Oh, it's you.
How long you been like this? This time?
Too long. You found me.
You always send for me, Dan, in your own unique fashion.
I send for money. Give me the towel over there.
I always check on my investments.
Next time, just send the money.
Won't be a next time here. This time you're going with me.
You know I'm not.
I think you'll get a kick out of this joint. I'm going up in the back country of Nueva Ecija. Get material for my book. No expedition, no fancy trappings, just you and me and the Igorot.
It's just you and the Igorot.
No, it'll be good for you, Dan. We'll get you in shape. Rest up a bit before we strike out. And we'll get all that stuff boiled out of your system. Might even get you to quit hating yourself. I know, you think you hate me. Maybe you do. All I know is you're my brother, and I'm not going to let you go completely to pieces. Makes you feel great, doesn't it?
It's there when I want it.
Yeah.
And it never talks back. It's printed on the label. 16 full ounces, no platitudes.
Do you have any clothes except those on your back?
I travel light.
Any debts to square? Women to placate before we clear out of here?
You crazy fool. You really think I'm going with you?
Might make it as far as Japan tonight. We'll put up with Cass for a while. He'd like that.
Cass?
Mm-hmm.
You mean Cass Bledsoe?
Sure. He's still around. Must be in his middle 60s by now. He's fatter than ever and richer. I see him a couple of times a year, I guess. Thought maybe you'd forgotten Cass. It's been a long time.
It had been a long time. But Cass Bledsoe was one guy I'd never forget. I used to hang around his plantation near Gapan when I was a kid. My old man was an engineer in the islands. I knew a good thing when I saw it, even then. And Cass had it made, but good. A lot of cheap native labor, all the money in the world. That's what I call a good thing. That's what I'd looked for all my life. Brother Matthew, I hated his insides. I always had. It wasn't so bad when he was off somewhere, but when he was around, I thought I'd blow my core. I hated him that much. He had me this time, though. I was flat broke, and he knew it. I had to go with him.
You see, no one's done exactly the kind of study I want to do on the Igorots. The lecture can wait till we get to Cass's. Come on, Dan. Admit it's not a bad idea?
I think it's a lousy idea. Go on, Matt. Tell Cass all about it.
Yeah, explain it to me. I've lived on the fringe of the Bear Country for years. I never gave a hoot what makes the Igorot tick.
You stubborn old baboon, you still won't give a hoot even if I do explain it to you.
No, now I'm interested. I really want to know. Do you know, Daniel?
Unlike you, I don't give a hoot.
Dan and I will have to do a lot of talking together before we go in. Well, briefly, good. The thing that's intriguing about the Igorots is this. On the one hand, they're a tribe of highly developed skills, mining principally. They live in orderly villages, practice monogamy, and generally lead productive, peaceful lives. But
ask me something.
Yeah, here.
Oh.
Well, on the other hand, some of these same people are thoroughly pagan and practice headhunting.
And you want to know why,
Partly, I want to know where the schism is in the tribe. You know, what makes one group completely diverse from the other. There's a link of development that's just missing, and I want to know what it is and why it is.
And just the two of you are going in there to find out?
Well, I've got a theory that large expeditions marching in, setting up camp and equipment, and whether to simply drive the natives farther into the brush. But Daniel and I can go in, make friends with them, and very quietly observe them. They'll get used to us after a while, and I really believe that we can come up with some important data. Anyway, it's worth a try, isn't it, Dan?
That's what you keep saying. I know, and I don't understand. What gets inside a man that makes him blaze trails, risk his life to track down this data for a book no one but professors will give a hang about? You, Daniel, what drives you to do?
Matthew. He thinks the other pagans and I will get along just fine.
No, don't misunderstand Professor Pineapple, will you, Matthew?
Mm-hmm.
I admire him. Thank you. Whatever it is. Matthew here will tell you. Every time I see him, I marvel at his plans. I listen and admire him all the more, but I never quite understand. All I know is I wish I'd had some of the quality when I was young enough to do something about it.
You're always making me sound like a bloody hero, Cass. I'm not at all. This drive, you call it, or something. Well, you're born with it. You're born with it.
Money!
Huh?
Money. And an inherited capacity for doing nothing in a very elaborate fashion. That's what's wrong. Everything was always too dad-blamed easy.
Is that bad? Do things have to be tough? What's wrong with money, especially if someone just hands it to you?
Man needs challenge in his life. I never had it. But thank heavens I can appreciate when I see it. I'd turn this whole blasted plantation over to Matthew in a minute, just to feel as if I'd done one worthwhile thing in my fat life. But he won't hear of it. And he calls me stubborn.
I'd lose money for you. You know it.
You would not. You'd have 100 innovations going before the first week was out. Ever see him tackle anything and not come out on top, didn't you?
Never in my whole life.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I wouldn't think much of you if you're any different than you are. And if they give me the years back and let me have another try...
You wouldn't do it any differently than you have.
All right. I think you're right. But I know this much. I'll never turn this place over to a bum like me either. I'll let YOLO run it first.
Where's Juan? I'd like some coffee.
Oh, yeah. Guess we all need some. Juan!
YOLO, chef, coffee, sir. YOLO bring fine coffee.
Good, YOLO. And don't forget...
Also bring brandy. Plenty brandy.
Good boy. All round, huh?
Yeah, please. Thanks, Joe. Hi, YOLO. How's the reading coming?
YOLO, very fine read, thank you, sir.
Good. Oh, this is my brother, YOLO. Daniel. This is Cass's prized possession.
Pleased to meet you, sir. Very pleased.
Hello, YOLO.
YOLO, read about Mr. Dan. In place Lion's Den?
The what?
Lion's Den.
Oh. Tell Daniel what you think of Matthew, YOLO.
Mr. Matt, very fine man, sir.
And what do you think of me?
Mr. Cass, very rich man.
You see, Daniel, I've raised this ingrate as if he were my son, and he thinks more of Matthew than he does of me.
The love feast went on and on and on. Every time Cass took another slug of brandy, he'd hand the plantation over to Matthew again and warn the boy, just kept handing it back. I had time. We were going to stay on with Cass for a few days. And hard as it was on my insides, it looked smart to come off as a carbon copy of Brother Matthew. The drunker he got, the more old brandy globe began to look like a good thing to me. A real good thing. I was a model boy those next few days.
Now, if we start out early enough in the morning, YOLO thinks we can make it to... Yeah, to this clearing right here. It's about tomorrow night.
Yeah. What does YOLO know about it?
Well, this country's the back of his hand. Hasn't Cass told you? YOLO's an Igorot. His family still lives back up in the hills.
Okay. So we're here tomorrow night.
Yeah.
When do we hit the first village?
Well, about mid-afternoon the second day. We'll set up headquarters there and work out of there as soon as we know the territory and make a few friends.
Sounds real cozy. All right, guess we're set then, huh?
Mm-hmm. Dan?
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
It's a long time since we've really been brothers. It'll be a good thing, this trip.
Yeah. That makes sense.
There you! Are you still awake?
Yeah, come on in, Cass. Come in.
Couldn't wake Matthew. Oh, no wonder. Thought we'd just have a little drink together. To the Igaro, huh?
Dan'll have a nightcap with you, Cass. I want to talk to Yolo again and then hit the sack.
All right.
See you in the morning, Cass.
Yeah?
Night, Dan.
Yeah, night. You sure you need a drink, Cass?
You sound just like him. Pretty sure I don't need it, boy. Pretty sure. I don't need most of them, I take. Pretty sure. Here.
Okay. Igoros?
To you. You and Matthew. Safe journey.
Thanks.
I don't know you like I know him, but you've got something. I can tell. Something. Doers. That's what you are. Amount to something. Never did myself.
Look, you're pretty hard on yourself, aren't you?
Guts. You've got guts, both of you. Guts. Never had any myself. Never.
You've done all right without them.
Listen, boy. Listen. Don't let anything happen to Matthew. Like a son to me. Don't know you as I know him. I know this, though. You're a bad one. A lot of devil in there, like me. Matthew, just like a son to me. Man needs a son. And when you get back, if you get back,
It was like carrying a beach whale, packing him off to his room, loading him into bed. I made him comfortable. If the drunken old fool was shopping around for a son, I'd make it easy for him to find one. Matthew and Cass had one more good-natured exchange before we left the next morning. Cass killed me. Didn't even have a hangover.
It'll be my way or I won't let you go, Matthew. If you're idiot enough to go in and take court to headhunters, I'll at least have the satisfaction of knowing I sent you in good hands.
Cass, you can't. Yolo's your right hand. You need him here.
Just let him lead you to his old village. Then he'll come back. Won't you, Yolo?
Yes, sir. Make very fast with Yolo to lead. No trail, very good. Also, help make friends.
Well, you'd be a big help, Yolo, sure, but...
Matthew, I think it's a good idea. If Cass can spare him a few days.
I certainly can. Besides, it'll make me feel as if I'm doing something for you. At least you can.
All right. All right. But you hurry back to Cass as soon as we're safely in the village, Yolo.
Yes, sir. Yolo understand.
Yeah, that's better. And you, Daniel, any young man who can lift me and my full load of brandy is worth having around. Anytime Matthew doesn't need you, let me know.
Well, thanks, Cass. I remember that.
We will return to Escape in just a moment. But first, highway safety is a state of mind. Yes, the state of the driver's mind. His viewpoint about taking chances on his own and others' lives governs whether or not our roadways are safe or unsafe. With warm weather returning, and this a holiday weekend in many parts of the nation, be cautious. Be extremely cautious. Watch your state of mind when behind the steering wheel. Your life depends on it. Others do, too. And now, back to Escape.
Yolo picked a path forward through the thick undergrowth, and I kept looking back with the marked signs that would lead me out again when the time came. By evening, Yolo had nosed out a little clearing. We made camp there. I watched Yolo in the firelight. His eyes kept darting out into the night, his head cocked, listening.
Near as I can tell, we must be about halfway between Gimba and Bungabun, Daniel.
What does that mean?
Just that tomorrow afternoon you should see us in Yolo's home village. You did a good job, Yolo. We wouldn't be this far without you.
Yolo very slow. Tomorrow do better. You sleep. Yolo watch and listen.
Yolo, what kind of sound does a headhunter make?
No sound. All very quick. Mr. Dan have no fear.
No? Why?
Not have a fine head like Mr. Matt.
That's a dubious honor.
Headhunter think soul in head. See fine head cut off. Make hunter very smart fellow. Put head in ground. Make crops grow.
Well, they won't come after us unless we trouble them. Don't worry about it, Dan. Get some sleep.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't have a thing to worry about. Yolo routed us out and on the trail early the next morning. I got so I could sense the path, look around at the brush, know where the footing was. We made good time, and by afternoon we could see the village ahead. As we moved closer, Yolo seemed somehow to become warier. His head snapped in all directions at the slightest sound. But finally, he led us into the clear, flanked by huts on all sides. What few natives we saw backed away and disappeared at the sight of us.
They're more frightened of us than we are of them, Dan. Smile. My smile, show them we're friendly.
Over there. Hut my family. We go there.
You go on. Tell them we're friends.
You'll know what to do. What we do is much more important. Just smile now. And don't panic.
In here. This hut. You go in. Hut all empty. You go in.
Come on, Dan.
I hope you know what you're doing.
They'll see we didn't come to harm them. Once they're sure of that, they'll come back. Come on inside.
Yeah. Just keep Yolo handy, that's all.
Don't worry about Yolo.
Yolo! Yolo, come back here. Look at that. Run out on his first chance again. Come back here, you dirty...
Dan! Let him go. He did his job. Now just calm down.
What are you, a brave man?
It's just that I've been through this kind of thing before. Natives always run fast. Then they steal back to take a look at you. If you convince him you didn't come to destroy him, you're all right.
Yeah, well, I think you're nuts.
Well, I'm not. Now, come on, lie down. Take it easy a while. I'll keep watch. Dan, we don't have a thing to worry about.
I didn't expect to sleep, but I must have. Because when I opened my eyes again, it was dusk. The brush was alive with sounds, but there was another sound, a rumble of voices out in the clearing. Voices that seemed to come closer to the hut. Matthew stood in the doorway, looking out.
You wait, Dan?
Yeah.
Some of the natives are coming back. It's all right. You stay inside. I'll go out and meet them.
Don't you let them in here.
No, they won't come in. Just stay where you are. And don't make it tough for us.
White man, one big friend. You see? Good. Good. White man, no knife, no gun. One big friend. Want to meet chief. Meet chief. Head fellow. Make friends.
I stood there with blank faces as Matthew did his great white father act. I took it as long as I could. Blazed away over there. They ran, but I just couldn't stop. Shoot it!
Stop it, you crazy fool! Stop it!
I got him out of here, didn't I?
Give me that gun down. What's the matter with you? You hadn't done anything. It wouldn't have hurt you.
You're nuts. I told you I thought it was a lousy idea. I didn't have to come here, you know. Give me back my gun.
Here. You set us back days and weeks. I suppose you meant to, but I've worked a long time to get ready for this trip, and you just blew it with half a dozen bullets that should never been fired.
All right. Tell me all about it on the way back, Cat.
We're not going back.
We're not sitting here.
No, we'll have to go on to the next village and hope we make it before the news of what you did reaches there.
No, I know you're nuts. If you're smart, you'll clear out of here with me.
Dan, now come on. Just settle down. All right. Now, we've made a bad start. We'll start over.
I'm going back. Get used to it.
You can help me if you stay here.
I don't want to help you.
If you give it a real chance, this could do you a lot of good, too. Dan, I've got to stay here. I want to. This book's important to me.
Don't tell me what's good for me.
All right, Dan. Have it your way. Go back. I can't stop you.
That's right. You know, I think you're right, brother. I think you've got to stay here.
Well, that's one thing we agree on.
Yeah. I sort of like thinking of you out here. It's such a stinking place.
All right, Dan. You've made your point. I think I'll check the supplies.
You never get that far. Mr. Matt, one fine head, huh?
Good Lord, Dan.
Oh, don't. Dan. Oh, Dan. All right, you book, brother. I felt good. Good. Because now all I had to hate was the idea of him. My nerve held until I got to the part about his head. I couldn't do it. All night long, I tried to find a nerve, but I couldn't. By morning, I picked him up, hauled him out into the brush. There wasn't a sign of life. I dug a grave, crammed him into it, pulled the thicket back over it. Would make a good story. Everyone would figure him for a hero's death, and that's how he got his. At the hands of headhunters. 2 days later, Matthew's weary brother, Bramble, strapped and sick with grief, stumbled into Cass's plantation and told the sad news.
Poor devil. It must have been horrible.
Oh, it was awful. You don't know how awful.
Take it easy, son. I know how you feel. But it was his life. He was doing what he believed in.
I want to go back. I want to get a party and go back, clean them all out to what they did.
I know. But you won't. I won't let you. I tried to stop Matthew. I've got to stop you.
I'm so tired.
And you'll get rest. A long rest. Then we'll talk about plans. Don't try to think now.
No, it's no use. I can't help him now. Any more than I could help him then.
Don't beat yourself, son. You did everything you could. I thought Yola was the answer. Did I get him?
Yolo. He ran as soon as we hit the village.
And he didn't show up when the trouble started?
No. He headed back here like he was supposed to.
I told him to stay in the background. He was supposed to be there when you and Matthew needed him.
He isn't here? He didn't come back?
They reverted to type. They do sometimes. I thought I was giving my boys some protection.
Cass, I think I'll go lie down. I feel sick.
Sure.
Mr. Cass! Sure. Cass! You're back. You're...
You fellas, go on down to them!
You're there, Mr. Cass. You're there all the time.
No, you lie. You're lying. I saw you run.
No, Mr. Cass. No. You're stay. You're bring back Mr. Matt. Come. You see.
Got his head. Daniel, you said...
Head all right. Body dead. All shot. Mr. Dan, no? All shot.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you A Good Thing by Kathleen Height, starring Anthony Barrett as Daniel and John Daner as Matthew. Featured in the cast were Herb Butterfield as Cass and Jack Crucian as Yolo. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week,
You are living in a new and fabulous land, surrounded by all that is generous and kind, while your hosts, heedless of your pleas, are planning, as is the custom of their country, to kill you in a strange and terrible manner.
So listen next week when Escape brings you a fantastic adventure in The Voyages of Sinbad. Tomorrow night, CBS Radio Suspense stars Ronald Coleman in Vision of Death. It's a thriller-diller, well-calculated to keep you at the edge of your chairs from beginning to end. Also tomorrow night, and most of these same CBS radio stations, don't miss the initial performance on the Lux Summer Theater. William Holden stars in Maxwell Anderson's High Tour to raise the curtain on Lux Summer Theater's new series. This is Roy Rowan speaking. Remember, America now rides to the tune of 25 million auto radios and listens most to the CBS Radio Network.
Rice Chex and Wheat Chex, the bite-sized cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages, present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Buzz and Happy have entered a repair shop in Mercury City to search for a spy from interstellar space.
The room's empty, sir. Cargill was telling the truth.
It's the same will take Cargill to headquarters for questioning.
Commander, look. Behind that cabinet.
Don't try anything, Commander.
It's Smead.
Come out here, Smead, with your hands up.
I'm in control here, Corey. There is a deadly, invisible beam right between us. Now drop those guns, or you'll be nothing but a heap of ashes.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, Designed for Disaster. Hang on to your space helmets, gang. Here comes Cadet Happy. Around the corner. Over the fence. And clear the way, because here he is.
Hi, Captain Tufeld.
Hi, Happy. How come all the shortcuts? Why the big rush?
Smoking rockets. I was in a hurry to get here and tell all the space patrollers about this neat new surprise the commander has for them. Take a look, Captain. It's plenty terrific.
Wow, the Space Patrol Periscope.
An honest-to-goodness Space Patrol Periscope with magic mirrors that let you see around corners, over fences, and around trees and over bushes. But nobody can see you.
Yes, sirree. You see without being seen. Over the heads of a crowd, too, because the Space Patrol Periscope is a big, 24 inches long. It's tapered special for wide-angle vision, with a real mirror at the top and one at the bottom, too.
Jumping Jupiter, gang, you sure can have fun with one of your own. The commander wants you to have one, too. And he wants all of you to listen to today's Space Patrol adventure and find out how we use our official Space Patrol Periscope.
So get your paper and pencils ready. In just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you how to get your periscope.
Say, Captain, how did you know I took all those shortcuts a while back? Over the fences and around the corner. Oh, sure. How space happy can you get? You were peering through your periscope.
Right, Cadet.
Ah!
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, Designed for Disaster. Commander Corey and Cadet Happy have captured one of the agents from Tirana, a distant solar system that plans to attack the United Planets. For hours now, Buzz has given phonograph tests to the agent Rogart, attempting to learn all possible information about the enemy. Happy is in the commander's central office right now at Space Patrol headquarters as Buzz enters from the security lab.
How's it going, Commander? Getting anything out of Rogar?
But even to the brainograph, it's slow.
Found out where Tirana is?
Yes, it's in the constellation Pegasus. A little more than 80 light years from our solar system.
Well, if we only had enough Star Drive ships to send on a scouting mission. And when's the attack scheduled?
Rogarth doesn't know.
It's too bad that other agent Smeed got away from us. I'll bet he knows.
Rogarth might help us locate Smeed. In the next session of the brainograph, I'm going to ask him to name every base of operation and every hideout Smeed might visit. Like they have, once we locate Smeed and find a way to stop that attack from Tirana, the United Planets are facing slavery or annihilation.
Almost anyone is likely to enter a spaceophone repair shop. Also, strange pieces of equipment and strange noises are not likely to cause suspicion in such a place. These are two reasons why Matthew Smeed has set up another Turanian agent, Pax Targol, in the spaceophone shop in Mercury City. Smeed, carrying a small receiver, has just entered Targol's shop.
Good afternoon. I wonder if you could tell me what's wrong with this set?
It's okay, Smeed. No one's in the shop.
Good. Have you contacted Drift Benyon?
Yes. He's very interested in your proposition.
I knew he would be. Benyon is the type of criminal who prefers the melodramatic.
I'd say that blowing up the Mercury City atmosphere plant just to rob a bank is more than just melodrama.
Of course. It's military strategy for the Turanian cause. But Benyon doesn't know about that part of it, does he?
No. No, he thinks I just want a share of the bank loot.
And Benyon is willing to send the explosive himself?
Yes, as soon as I complete the device.
It isn't finished yet?
A few more details to take care of. It's over there on the bench. I want to test the timing mechanism.
All right. Now, tell me just what you told Benyon.
Well, Benyon hides the explosive in the atmosphere plant. Then he and his men put on spacesuits waiting for the explosion.
Concealed, of course.
Yes. The surface truck will be in Slaker's warehouse. When the atmosphere plant blows up, there will be a panic all over the city. Benyon and his men rush to the Mercury City Bank. Banyon's gang scoops up all the money they can lay their hands on, piles into the truck, and then goes to the spaceport.
And we'll be on Venus, waiting for Benyon to bring us our share of the money.
Suppose Benyon gets captured.
Well, we'll see that he isn't, even if we have to dispose of him ourselves. Anyway, Benyon must never know that you have any connection with Tirana. Now, hurry and finish the time bomb.
In his central office on Terra, Commander Corey has just completed his interrogation of the captured Turanian agent, Rogarth. Right now, he's telling Cadet Happy the results of the phonograph test.
Rogarth was able to locate 5 possible hideouts where he might find Smeed.
No? Those shouldn't take any cover.
The trouble is there are probably several more. But according to Rogarth, Smeed might be hiding in Saturn, and Jupiter's third moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars.
We could alert our agents and hit all 5 places at once.
It'd be fine if we could be sure he'd be at one of those 5 places. If he's somewhere else, those simultaneous raids would only tip him off.
Yeah, that's right. It would be even harder to find.
However, we can have something here that might solve our problem. In this cabinet. This could be the trick.
Oh, what is it?
It's that new piece of equipment I mentioned last week, Chap. The official Space Patrol periscope.
You mean that tube is going to help us find Smeed?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'll show you how it works. Look out the upper window, huh?
Oh, yes, sir. I'll just move this chair up and stand on it.
No, that isn't necessary. You just take the periscope. That's it. Hold one end to your eyes and point the other end out of that top window.
Smoking rockets. It's like being 2 feet taller.
Yeah. Turning it sideways, you can see around corners with it.
Oh, this is great. If there was a criminal around a corner with a blast gun, you could find out where he was without getting hit.
That's right. And notice the wide-angle vision it gives you.
Oh, this is some gadget. But, well, I still don't see how it's going to be much help in finding Smeed.
Wait till we test it out in space. When you're outside of the strong gravity field of the planet, you can use a periscope to see objects millions of BUs away.
Oh, like a high-powered telescope, huh?
That's better than a telescope, huh? If you're out in space with a telescope, you might be able to see this headquarters building here in Terra. But with the periscope, you could see inside the building. You could look into any room, any office.
Smoking rockets. So that's how we're going to look for Matthew Smeed.
You won't know we're watching.
Why can't we work it right from here? Or from the roof of the building?
Because of Terra's gravity field. The periscope is like a star-drive spaceship. It operates through another dimension in hyperspace. When delicate long-distance adjustments are necessary, the periscope must be in a near-zero gravity field.
I'm sure anxious to see how it works out in space.
Well, let's go to the Terra 5, huh? We'll give the periscope its first action test.
Billions of BUs from any planet, the Terra 5 cruises through space on automatic control. Buzz and Happy examine the new Space Patrol periscope, now held securely in a bracket attached near the control panel. Buzz has attached a small, compact adjustment mechanism which enables the periscope to focus upon any remote point of space.
We drew another blank. I'll reset the adjustments for the place in Mercury City.
Oh, the Space Phone repair shop?
Yes. I've got it, Hap. Look through the periscope.
Oh, it's like we were standing right in the street in front of the shop.
Let me take over again. I'll change the focus to inside the shop. Looks legitimate enough. Some testing equipment. Several Space Phone receivers and transmitters taken apart. The desk and papers scattered all over.
Anyone there, sir?
Yes, there's a man working at the bench. Doesn't look like a space phone. It's a square box with a sort of top gun on it. Uh-oh. Someone's opening the door on the back of the shop. Now, take a look.
Yes, sir. Smeed.
The man we're looking for, Mercury City.
We can space it from Mercury City headquarters and have that shop surrounded.
There's too much chance of Smeed intercepting the call. Remember, he's surrounded by a whole shop full of space phone equipment. Chances are he's constantly monitoring our channels.
Yeah, that's right. And for all we know, he might even know our codes.
Keep watching him. Maybe we can pick up some hints.
There it is, Smeed. All ready for action.
Good. Take it easy. Don't blow it out here.
Don't worry. The safety switch is on.
And what about Griff Benyon?
He's coming here to pick it up later this afternoon.
All right, then all we have to do is... Ow! Come on. Something bit me on the hand. Where did these ants come from? Your desk is swarming with them.
Oh, put some fruit in the drawer yesterday and forgot about it.
Where's your medicine kit?
Don't worry, Smeed. Those ants don't hurt you.
How do you know they won't? Remember, we're from another solar system. We may not be immune to bites from these insects.
Hey, that's right. I'll get rid of them right away.
You can do that when I'm gone. Now, about this deal with Griff Benyon. You set the timing device right here. When Benyon leaves, you go to the spaceport. We don't want to be in Mercury City when the atmosphere turns over.
Smeed's leaving the shop, Commander. Can we follow him with the periscope?
We can for a while, but when we get closer to Mercury, the increasing gravity field will blur the image. We'll land at Mercury City and go directly to that space phone shop. Maybe we can make Smeed's partner talk.
2 hours later, Buzz and Happy are in a surface car on a side street in Mercury City. Leaving the car a block from the shop, they continue on foot. In the shop, Targall is carefully going through his papers, destroying incriminating evidence.
Yes, gentlemen? Something I can do for you?
You run this shop?
Yes, I do. I'm Pax Targall.
We're looking for a man named Smeed. Matthew Smeed.
Smeed? I don't believe I know anyone by that name.
We'll just take a look around, Targall.
You won't find your Mr. Smeed here.
No, maybe, but he was, huh?
Yeah, we saw him.
You saw him?
No, let's not argue. Lead the way into that back room. Go on, Targall. You can come back.
Yes, sir. There. As you can see, the room is empty.
I'm taking you to headquarters for questioning, Targall.
Just what is this all about?
Commander, look, behind that cabinet.
Don't try anything, Commander.
It's Smeed.
Come out here, Smeed, with your hands up.
I'm in control here, Commander. Do you hear that sound? That's a disintegrator beam.
Disintegrator beam?
That's right, Cadet. There's a deadly, invisible beam in this room, forming a wall between you and me.
Turn it off or I'll use this ray gun.
Try it, and I'll sweep this beam over you. In a fraction of a second, you'll be nothing but a heap of ashes. Now, drop those guns.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. All set on the pencils and papers, gang. In just seconds, you're going to find out how you can get your super sensational Space Patrol Periscope. The official Space Patrol Periscope with the magic mirrors that let you see around corners, over fences, while nobody can see you. Yes, you see without being seen. And, gang, just wait till you get your first look through. It's a big 24 inches long and tapered special for wide-angle vision with 2 mirrors, one at the top, one at the bottom. It comes in real George Space colors, too. Blue, yellow, and red. Wowie! Think of the fun you can have peering at your pals through your periscope. And you'll have lots of fun putting your periscope together, too. You do it yourself. Easy directions are right on the envelope it comes in. And it takes only a few minutes, and presto, you're set to start peering through your periscope. Now, gang, remember, you can see around corners and over fences and around trees, over bushes, but nobody can see you. Okay? You set with pencil and paper? Here's how you get your official Space Patrol periscope. Send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. This offer good only in the USA and may be withdrawn at any time. Now, Space Patrollers, don't forget your 25 cents. That's Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. And now back to our Space Patrol adventure designed for disaster. With the aid of the new Space Patrol periscope, Buzz and Happy located Matthew Smead in a hideout in Mercury City. Smead and his accomplice, Pax Targal, are agents from the remote solar system Tirana, which is preparing to attack the United Planets. When Buzz and Happy accosted Smead in the back room of the Spaceophone repair shop, Smead cut on a disintegrator beam and threatens to focus the deadly rays on the Space Patrollers.
You haven't a chance, Corey. Do as you're told.
If that's a disintegrator beam, Smead, why doesn't it destroy the walls of this room?
It's simple. It's tuned to a frequency that affects only living tissues. It doesn't harm inorganic, lifeless matter. However, if you like a demonstration, just watch what happens to the cadet.
All right, Smead, this round is yours. Drop your ray gun, Happy.
Yes, sir. Very wise, gentlemen. Fargo.
Yeah?
When Corey and the cadet step back, and I'm sure they will, you pick up their weapons. Don't move till I tell you to. You might step into the disintegrator beam.
I'll wait, don't worry.
Step back, gentlemen, into that closet. Go on. All right, Fargo, get their guns.
You can cut off the disintegrator now, Smead. I got him covered.
Lock them in the closet.
Sure.
Now, I want you to get on the phone and call your friend.
Oh, you mean?
Yes, you know very well who I mean. Tell him there has been a change in plans. We will bring the necessary equipment to him.
What about Corey and the cadet?
When we leave, I'll turn the beam on. That'll keep them under control. There. He can't get out of this room without knocking out a wall. Now get that bomb and let's get out of here.
I didn't hear anything out there, sir. I think they've gone.
I think Smead will let us off that easy. Let's try breaking out and see what happens.
No objection so far.
I'll give them another kick.
The room's empty, sir. They've gone off.
Hold it, Hat. Don't move. The disintegrator beam is on.
Oh, when I was just about to cross the room.
The source of that beam is down there.
We can get to that machine and turn it off.
No, we can't. Smead placed it where we can't get to it without stepping into the beam.
Then we're blocked.
We could only find exactly where that beam is and locate its boundaries. Perhaps we could crawl under. Uh-oh.
Well, what is it, sir?
Look down at the floor next to the wall.
You don't see anything? Except a swarm of ants.
That's what I mean. Either they're crawling along the molding and onto the beam. If we can get some of those ants in that metal bar, we can use it as a test rod. We'll move it around slowly. When the ants start disappearing or dropping off, we'll know that they...
We'll know we're on the beam. Great. I'll get the rod.
Get some ants on it. And we'll start near the floor and work up.
Carefully holding the bar at arm's length, Commander Corey probes for the invisible beam. Inch by inch, he advances across the room.
Be careful, sir. It's a foot off the floor, and the ants are still okay. Uh-oh. Now they're gone.
This is the lower limit of the disintegrator beam, Hat. About 18 inches off the floor at this point. We'll lie on our stomachs and crawl across the room to the door. And keep low.
Don't worry, sir. I'll be so flat you'll think it's my shadow.
Moments later, Buzz and Happy are in their surface car. As they drive toward Mercury City headquarters, the commander issues spaceophone orders to the City Patrol Division.
Are those instructions clear, Captain?
Yes, Commander. I'll assign men to watch the repair shop. The guard, spaceport will be alerted to stop speed and cargo if they show up.
Oh, one more thing, Captain. I want you to check on a couple of phone numbers I found on scraps of paper at the spaceophone shop. Find out who they're listed to and the address.
Yes, sir.
They're both Mercury City numbers. Virgo 45907 and 423611.
I'll trace them immediately, Commander.
Inform Colonel Harris that I'm blasting off immediately to make some tests with the new periscope. May be able to locate Smead with it. Corey out.
Elsewhere, in another part of Mercury City, Smead and Targol wait impatiently beside a spaceophone.
What's wrong with Banyan? Why doesn't he call?
I hope he didn't lose his nerve.
Well, he's had plenty of time to place that explosive at the atmosphere plant. Get it.
Yeah?
This is Banyan. Everything all set?
Have any trouble?
Not a bit. Time bomb is hid, but nobody could find it, even if they were looking for it.
Where are you now?
At a booth at the Space Hotel.
Better get to the warehouse. There isn't much time.
I'm on my way now.
Okay, Banyan. See you later. Everything's going fine, Smead.
You get over to the warehouse. We can use 2 of those stolen spacesuits for our getaway.
Thousands of VUs from the planet Mercury, Buzz and Happy recheck Smead's known hideout for a trace of activity, focusing the periscope carefully from planet to planet.
Captain Walters at Space Patrol Headquarters, Mercury City, calling Commander Corey aboard Terra 5.
Corey here. Go ahead, Captain.
I've traced both of those numbers, Commander. The Virgo number's a doctor's office. Dr. Chandler. Doc's okay. He says a packed Targol made an appointment by phone and then canceled out. He never saw a Targol, and he never heard of Matthew Smead.
How about that phone number?
That's listed in Slaker's warehouse on Meridian Street. There's no answer.
What's the address?
101 North Meridian.
I'll check it with the periscope. Anything else, Captain?
Nothing on Smead or Targol. We got a report from the atmosphere plant. One of the guards thought he saw Grip Banyan duck down a stairway.
The guard sure it was Banyan?
Yes, sir. But he got away. Colonel Harris has ordered a complete search of the atmosphere plant. So far, we haven't found anything.
Ask the Colonel to continue the search. Keep all Space Patrol personnel away from that warehouse till I scan it with a periscope. I'll contact you later. Hurry out. Have to get that map of Mercury City and check the coordinates of that warehouse.
I've already done it, Commander.
On the way, just for luck, we'll see what's going on at the atmosphere plant.
Okay. If Drift Banyan's hiding there, the periscope might be able to sneak up on him where the guards couldn't.
Methodically, with delicate adjustment of the periscope focusing control, Buzz explores every corridor, every room of the vast atmosphere plant in Mercury City. They watch the technicians at work. They see guards searching storerooms, peering behind machinery. There is no sign of Drift Banyan.
Well, if Banyan was there, he's gone now.
Yeah. With the periscope, we've been able to look into places the guards overlooked.
Now, wait a minute. Take a look at this. Look under that large vent. What do you see?
It's a piece of equipment. A needle of some kind, I guess.
Doesn't it look familiar?
Well, in a way, yes. It's sort of crude and homemade, but...
The last time we saw that box, it was on a bench in Targol's spaceophone with passing.
That's right. Now I remember. Sure, there couldn't be 2 boxes just like that.
There's a tie-in between Smead and Drift Banyan. We're really into trouble.
You think either Smead or Targol gave that box to Banyan, and Banyan put it in the atmosphere plant?
Probably. Very likely an explosive of some kind.
Oh, if that main filter blows up, it'll cut off the air supply for all of Mercury City.
When I contact Mercury City headquarters, you switch the periscope back to that warehouse. I thought of something I overlooked.
Yes, sir.
Commander Corey aboard Terra 5 calling Captain Walters at Mercury City headquarters. Urgent. Corey to Mercury City headquarters.
Captain Walters here, Commander.
Captain, listen carefully. Send a demolition squad to the central air purifying chambers at the atmosphere plant. Under the main vent, they'll find a small box. It's probably a time bomb.
Well, that's why Grip Banyan...
There may not be much time, Captain. I want trained demolition men on that job right away.
Yes, Commander.
Double the guard at the spaceport. Smead and Targol are working with Banyan. With that bomb ready to go off, they'll stop at nothing to escape. Hurry out. How about that periscope? You got the warehouse yet?
Yes, sir, but the image isn't too clear. I thought I saw something move, sir, near the truck.
Oh, you did. There are 4 men there, all carrying something. Spacesuit. With official Space Patrol insignia.
We'd better tip off headquarters to round them up.
I'll order a stakeout surrounding the block. Move in now might scare away the men we're after, the ringleaders. The image is completely gone now. Take the periscope out of the bracket. We may need it when we get back to Mercury City.
Landing at Mercury City Spaceport, Buzz and Happy find no indication of alarm. Under the normal activity, Space Patrol personnel are quietly preparing for any emergency if disaster should strike. Right now, in the service car, Buzz and Happy speed to the warehouse on Meridian Street. As it pulls to a stop at the rear of the structure, Buzz makes a last-minute space-phone check with headquarters.
Corey and Surface Car M78 calling Captain Walters at headquarters.
Walters here, Commander.
Happy and I are at the warehouse. Any word from the atmosphere plant?
It just came in. It was a bomb, all right, but it's harmless now. Demolition men said it was the trickiest gadget they ever handled. It was set to go off at 1,500 hours. If it had, the whole air purifier unit would have been blown clear through the atmosphere shelf.
Close call. Thanks, Captain. Stand by. Corey out. Now, Hap, how's the V go to work? In the periscope.
Yes, sir.
Small window we can just reach for the periscope. Careful. Yes, sir. What do you see? Several men. All in spacesuits except one.
He's getting one laid out. It's Targo.
No sign of Sneed. I can't tell. Some of the men are getting into the truck. And Targo's looking at his watch. Just 1,500. I expect I'll explain to him. Oh, it's fine. 4 men in the back of the truck and the 5th man is logging them in. But they got in willingly if they can. Probably doing anything that was an accidental discovery. I recognize a 5th man. It's Griff Bang. Could we planted the time bomb? Let me enter the door. Get ready. Yes, sir. Something's gone wrong with the bomb. You must have tampered with the setting.
You crazy. Look, bomb or no bomb, the boys and I are going to pull off that bank job.
Get your hands up, Banyan. You too, Targo.
Banyan, unlock the talk. Let the boys out. No, you don't, Banyan.
Get Banyan, Hap. I'll handle Targo.
All right, Banyan. On your feet. And get out of that spacesuit. You won't be needing it.
Nice tackle, huh? Now, you want to continue the work out, or will you tell me where to find your pal Sneed? He's near the spaceport, waiting for the explosion.
Yeah? Well, we've got news for you. The only thing that's going to blow up will be Sneed's plans.
An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. A secret agent from outer space, or a spy right here on Earth. That's you, Space Patrollers, spying through the magic mirrors of your neat new official Space Patrol periscope. And man, oh man, you're in for plenty of exciting times with yours. You can set your periscope sights on all your Earth pals, spy on them from around corners, over fences, and from behind trees. Those magic mirrors of your periscope let you see them, but they'll never, never see you. Yes, sir. You see without being seen.
All right, Dick. Space Patrollers, this is Commander Corey. And listen, here's something special that'll come in mighty handy when you're out space spying. It's an identification chart printed right on your periscope. Shows you exactly what the people who live on all the major planets might look like. What's more, on every periscope, there's a place for your name, address, and solar system.
And remember, Space Patrollers, this is a real periscope. A big 24 inches long and tapered special for wide-angle vision, with a mirror on top and one on the bottom.
Space Patrollers, be the first official space spy in your gang. Get your own official Space Patrol periscope today.
And here's how you get them. Send a Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top, together with your name and address and 25 cents in coin, to Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. That address again is Space Patrol, Box 686, St. Louis, Missouri. Don't forget your 25 cents and your Rice Chex or Wheat Chex box top.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Bite-sized checks taste good to me. Bite-sized checks, Wheat Chex, Rice Chex. Get your checkerboard cereal today.
And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy are in their Star Drive ship when a patrol ship piloted by the spy Matthew Smeed suddenly approaches.
Keep watching Smeed in the periscope, Hap. I'll blast away to another part of space.
Yes, sir. Commander, what's wrong?
A rocket's cut out. The emergency units are dead. We're in free fall.
You're completely helpless for it.
The space plane. It's Smeed.
There is no escape, Commander. You're prisoners of Tirana.
Be sure to listen next week for the thrilling story, Prisoners of Tirana, when Rice Chex and Wheat Check again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Helen Moser. Other players were Ken Mayer, Norman Jolly, and Bela Kovac. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Life Check and Wheat Check present exciting action on Space Patrol. This program is broadcast for Armed Forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.